Megan Lynch. Pew Research Center wanted to know the answer to that question.
The vast majority of Americans do not pay for news. In our survey, 83% of adults said that they have not paid for news in the past year.
Associate Director of Research Michael Lipka says the number one reason people say they won't pay for news content is that they can get it elsewhere for free.
The Justice Department has charged 324 defendants in connection with almost $15 billion in alleged health care fraud.
The head of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, Dr. Mehmet Oz.
CMS is probably the largest target of all, responsible for about $1.7 trillion of disbursements. So it's a big target on our side.
Among those charged, 96 doctors, nurse practitioners, pharmacists, and other licensed medical professionals. Federal and state law enforcement agencies throughout the country took part in the takedown, which officials say netted more than $245 million in cash, luxury vehicles, cryptocurrency, and other assets. Christopher Cruz, CBS News, Washington.
Dow from Stifel's up 130 points to 43,949.
Still dealing with a changeable sky and a cool front slowly moving our way, a rare treat for summertime. So a mix of clouds and sunshine going through our afternoon. It stays humid, and we'll keep an eye out for some scattered showers and thunderstorms. There's a possibility one or two could go strong to severe. That's still a little bit in question even at this point in time. Best shot is going to be late afternoon into the early evening. The high 80s to near 90. Tonight, fading showers and thunderstorms during the evening hours, otherwise partly cloudy. Also a slow drop in humidity late tonight. 70, setting us up for a wonderful Tuesday. Sunny and less humid, comfortable 87 degrees. On Tuesday night, clear and nice, 67, and Wednesday, sunny and 89 degrees. 4th of July, looking ahead, partly sunny skies. It's back to hot and kind of humid, 94 degrees on Friday the 4th. Just a slight risk of a spot thunderstorm. I think we're quiet for evening plans. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's 87 downtown. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
This report is sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis.
Cash for Clunkers is back. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is paying cash for your clunkers now. Schedule online at overheaddoorstlouis.com or call 314-781-5200. It's cash for clunkers now at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Good afternoon, St. Louis. DGS on 104.1 FM KMOX. Happy Monday to you. So delightful. Rach and I took a walk a couple hours ago, and it was tolerable.
It was nice.
Pushing nice. Yeah.
In the shade of the building, it was quite nice.
Yes.
Outside of the shade.
Sounded like the beginning of a poem.
In the shade of the building.
It was quite nice.
It was quite nice.
How hot is it?
Let's guess.
I just looked, so I won't guess.
84.
80.
I asked, so I don't know.
It's
85.
86.
All right.
I shouldn't have guessed. I haven't been outside.
I just know that when I came in today, I didn't end up instant sweating coming from this car to the door.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't turn on my AC in the car.
Wow.
I had the window open, and that was enough.
Man.
But it was also like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
so
okay.
It wasn't too bad.
That's pretty.
I'm proud of myself. I have moderated my fear of my air conditioner going out. You know, I've always got a fear.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And this morning, Julie Lally made me feel like a tiny baby man because she was like, "We're getting you up in it," because you know Julie Lally, she's a promoter and she's always promoting me and always like I've got an idea for the show, and she's like, "We're getting you up in the arch." I'm like, "Not a chance. Like it's never gonna happen. Like maybe if I'm on hospice, you could put me in there and take me." And she goes, "Okay, well we'll do the wheel." I'm like, "Again, not happening." And I just like look, I got phobias. Just the way it is. Things that are fun for some people are not fun for me, and I'm probably vice versa.
The wheel does have AC, though, which makes a difference.
You could put AC in a coffin and bury me 6 feet deep, too, but...
Still a coffin.
Still a coffin. It's a coffin that goes 300 feet in the air.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, every time, like when I'm downtown at a ball game, I think it's spruce that you can see straight down to the wheel, and I'm like, man, it's still standing. It didn't fall
fun.
today. No, it's not fun.
It's not fast enough.
No. Fast enough.
It's not fast enough.
I want to go fast.
It goes decently fast, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
So Wheeler's on there, bored to death. Rach is having the time of her life, and I'm crying like a baby.
And Dave's like, let me out. I'd be like,
I mean, there's lots of things I'm not afraid of. Isn't that a weird thing?
Yeah.
It's such a strange thing. Because you know that there have to be some of it, you know, the whole nature nurture, some of it has to be brain chemistry.
Yeah.
And then a lot of it, like, for example, I was telling someone this weekend because I saw something on television and it was about butterflies, how we're supposed to be attracting the monarchs XYZ. And I just started laughing. And the person I was with was like, what are you laughing at? And I probably told this story to Rach and Andrew, but when I was little, like young enough that you can still be convinced of these things, my brother Keith told me that not only see, in a lie, the details are everything. He said, butterflies bite. And I'm like, no, they don't. He goes, they bite and they have fangs just like a spider. And I would show you that if I grab one, it'll sink its fangs into me. And so I was terrified of butterflies. And I'm sub-kindergarten, and I still have this memory. I'm in the yellow Oldsmobile Cutlass with my dad and bench seats, and he's yelling for me to get out, but there's a yellow butterfly flying next to the car, and I start crying, and I just hear him yell to my mom, he's afraid of the effing butterflies. And I'm just like, you would be too if you weren't so stupid. They have fangs like a spider. And at that moment, I remember going, wait a second.
Do they really?
Did he just tell me this giant lie?
Yeah, probably. Probably.
But I'm not afraid of those guys anymore.
You shouldn't be.
No, I'm fine.
You know that they're fangless.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go in the arch. I don't want to go in the wheel, but I can be around butterflies. Go to the butterfly house.
All right.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Butterfly House is pretty great.
It is pretty
If
cool.
no one's been to that, it's awesome.
It is pretty cool.
I'm always afraid I'm gonna step on one or sit on one or something. Just some hilarious buffoonery.
Can I tell a good story about my brother now?
Mm-hmm.
There's a place in Roxana where South Roxana turns into Roxana, and there's a little split off to go to Wood River, and there's a building there. There's been a million things, and when I was little bitty, it was called Bianca's Pizza, and there's a picture out there somewhere, probably have it at my house, where when I was 3, my brother's band got booked to play at Bianca's Pizza, and so I got up and played tambourine. And wait till you hear my outfit. I was wearing a black and red cowboy shirt with pearl buttons, blue shorts with a yellow duck, and black cowboy boots.
All right.
Right.
Rocking it.
Right. Same thing I wear now in the band.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Only on Saturdays, though, right?
But yeah, that was my first time on stage. And I remember that, too. I have a weird memory.
I think you'd remember that one, though.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
It's a good one. What are we going to do about all these hooligans getting up on police officers' backs and riding on top of cars and stuff? Did you read about all this, Wheels? It kind of ruined things in the Grove over the weekend?
Yeah. I mean,
what do you do?
The thing that we can't do right now, which
Police?
is more police officers. Right?
There were a ton of police down in the Grove. There were like hundreds of police officers down there, from what I understand. It's just when you have so many more people acting stupid, like, I don't know. I just kept seeing on Reddit, and, it's not like everyone's telling the truth on Reddit 100% of the time, but people would describe, like, people would be saying, like, somebody's got a gun. So everyone would start running in one direction. And it was just chaos like that, like, basically all night long. I honestly don't know if the answer is more police, because what are they supposed to do when it's just chaos? Like, it's not like they can just start arresting people for being rude and crass or whatever else. Like, if there's a giant group of people who aren't acting properly, like, how do you actually handle that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how do you even handle it when somebody jumps on top of a cop car? I mean, if you use any kind of force, you run a serious risk of becoming the bad guy in the situation. You know what I mean? You can't just whoop on them because they jump on your car or whatever. But if they start, you know what I mean? Like, what even is the proper solution to something like that?
I think, though, see if you guys agree or not, I've been down here since 1990, one way or another, and it seems to me that we're at sort of like the Cardinals, like we talk about the Cardinals incessantly about it's a runway year and we're trying to come back and we're going to rebuild and we're going to reset and we're going to this, we're going to that. And there are many things about the city that I feel like we're sort of in the same. We have a new mayor. Kim Gardner's gone. We have some chances to do something now. We have the Rams settlement money. We're at a real fork in the road. But the crowds like this can ruin everything. And I'm sure that when they are 50, they'll look back and think how stupid their behaviors were, but we don't have that kind of time to wait. So right now, they're doing stuff. I didn't do stuff like this when I was young, but I did my version of stupid stuff. And so when you've got a bunch of young people breaking the law and acting a fool like that, they could put the death knell in the city. Because like Rach and I were talking on our walk, people from St. Charles aren't coming down for stuff like that. People from the county aren't coming down for stuff like that. And as the father of a 20-year-old girl, if she said, I want to go down to the Grove during Pride Fest, I probably would have said yes before this. Now I would say no. If there's even the chance of something like that breaking out, the answer is no. But my 2 cents.
There has to be an answer of something to do, though.
There has to be.
Because the answer can't be nothing.
Mm-hmm.
The answer can't be, welp.
But the answer may be too difficult that no one's going to do it.
Well, I mean, if you're there with 200 or 250 police officers instead of 50, it's a difference. Because you can just start arresting more people. And then once people go, man, I got a 1 in 3 chance of going, I'm getting the hell out of here. Again, there's no easy answer to it. But look, one of the reasons why is it more secure around Busch Stadium? We never see that stuff around Busch Stadium on a game night. Why is that? Well, there are a lot of people, but also there's a law enforcement presence. And it's known. And that stuff has not happened around the ballpark.
True.
It always happens somewhere else. It always happens, something a little further away from that area.
Do you think they would handle business if it happened at the ballpark out
I have
by
no
the
idea.
statues?
No idea. That's a great question. But I think the combination of tens of thousands of other people being there and security, it might get worse. Who knows? I mean, you got a lot more people to deal with. But it is fascinating that it never has happened over there.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, I'd say that there's a pretty good secure perimeter that the Cardinals and that the local police keep for that kind of event. You can't have that everywhere. Like you can't have that same presence in the Grove every weekend or up at Keener Plaza or wherever you've had problems. But there has to be an answer, because the answer can't be what we tend to do as a city, and that is nothing. It's just that can't be the answer, because it is not going to get better. If you show someone they can get away with something, they're going to keep getting away with it.
Rach, do you know if we heard anything from Mayor Spencer about it?
I saw her post on Instagram yesterday, basically thanking certain businesses in the Grove who were going to be closing or having like a curfew on Sunday night as a result of the shenanigans that happened on Saturday night. But that's all I had seen from the mayor. She may have said something else. If she did, I have not seen it.
It's a shame. It's just a shame. City's on a knife edge. And it's like we don't think it can go bad. It's like we don't think that it can go worse. We don't think that the city can shrink even more, and that the taxes are even less, and the amenities are even less, and fewer people move downtown, and fewer people come downtown for dinner. Like, we think it can't get worse, and it can. Kara Spencer's going to have a really interesting administration.
Absolutely. Look, none of us have the perfect answer, right?
Mm-mm.
But is this happening in other places? Is this happening in Kansas City on a weekly basis? Is it happening in Indianapolis? Is it happening in Detroit? Is it happening? Things are happening in Chicago, right? They tend to not be in the commercial areas, but they still happen up there. It's a big city. There's always something. But I'd love to know what with these particular types of things, how much that's happening in other places that are similar, cities that are similar. Chicago's probably not a great comparison. It's a lot bigger. New York, too big. But other similar markets, like, is that same stuff happening? Or just wild-ass weekends all the time?
And if not, how did you stop? How did you stop
How do
it?
they handle it? Why is it not happening there? Yeah.
Lombardo, Rach?
Yeah, did you guys know Lombardo Homes can actually build on your land or property? So maybe you've heard Dave and I talk about Lombardo before and all their different communities, which are lovely, but that's not for everyone. Sometimes you want to build on your own land. Lombardo Homes is Build on Your Lot program. Anywhere Lombardo has the tools and the expertise to evaluate your property, recommend different floor plans and options for you, provide you with pricing, and build you the home that best fits your needs on time and on budget.
So Lombardo is not in the business of building 55 and older communities. There are lots of companies who are, but we have attached townhome communities, which are kind of similar things without the name. And being 55 plus now, it really attracts me. Just not having all the yard work, not having all the upkeep, but having beautiful walking trails and gyms and pools and nature. Just the whole thing sounds great. So whatever your vibe is, check them out at lombardohomes.com.
If you need to hire, it seems like the whole process can be exhausting. You search resumes, wait for the right candidates to apply, set up initial interviews. It's a lot of time and work. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates for your job the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro is super easy to use. You simply pick a time, and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Best of all, you save time and energy.
Try Zip Intro for free right now at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. Once again, go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley telling you about i3 Broadband. You've heard me talk about them. They provide the internet in my home. I love them so much. The reliability is great. Let's talk about price for a moment, though. They've got an introductory rate at $19.99 a month for one of their service options. No bundle ever required. You're going to save $10 a month over the cable company. They've got great pricing on all of their different packages, going up to 8 gigs upload and download speed, always mirrored. See if they're available in your neighborhood. Put your address in at i3broadband.com.
Rolling hot dogs 2 for $5 on a fluffy bun. All beef hot dogs rolling in. Hurry, cause they're on the run. Pick your toppings anyway. Roll into this deal. Pick your 2, big Q2. Roll and makes a meal. Mustard relish, sauerkraut. Ain't no need to scream and shout. Get 2 all beef hot dogs and a big Q for $5. Only at QT. More than a gas station.
If you're trying to sell your home, there's only one group of agents in town I trust. Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. My friends Mark and Neil have the best system, options, and strategies to connect you to the best qualified buyers, getting your home sold fast and for top dollar. Check out thegelmanteam.com.
Are moles tearing up your yard? Don't let these lawn invaders turn your beautiful property into a mess. Rottler Pest Solutions offers professional mole control services to protect your lawn from damage. Visit Rottler.com today to schedule your free inspection.
The Dave Glover Show, weekdays at 1 on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
That's a long intro.
I know.
I don't think I've ever heard that whole intro.
Shouldn't be that long.
It's okay. I called for it. Robert says, I sure miss Grandma Glover. And I'm like, me too, Bob. I miss my... Oh, then I'm like, oh, that's the puppet. Yes.
Oh, that's what he meant. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I
For a
was wondering
second,
why you said that.
yeah, for a second I was like, oh, that seems wildly inappropriate. But
No,
it was a
I'm pretty
puppet.
sure he's talking about the puppet.
It's a puppet.
But it wouldn't be inappropriate to say he misses Grandma Glover. We all miss Grandma Glover.
That's true. We do.
The world is different.
It's a less funny place.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. That's true. That's true. It's a less interesting place, right? No doubt about it. Check me on something. I almost said something non-ironically, and then I thought better of it in my head. I have a story here about what kind of summer it's going to be, and I was going to say as a setup, hey, we all remember that last summer was hot girl summer, and then I thought, you probably shouldn't say that.
I think that was 2 summers ago.
See, there you
also.
go. I knew it.
It might have been 3 summers ago.
There's all the more reason not to say it.
Last summer was Brat Summer.
Okay.
Charlie XCX,
Yes.
her album Brat
Yes,
was
yes.
a Brat Summer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a few years ago, it was hot girl summer.
Okay.
This summer,
I
it
hope
is.
it's overweight Mountain Dew summer.
Remember when Chet Hanks said it was going to be White Boy Summer?
Yes, I do remember that.
Still holding out for that one.
Easy, Nepo baby.
That would be a big help if it was White Boy Summer.
This one's really interesting. It's 90s Kid Summer.
Ooh, that's me.
So parents are allowing their 2025 kids to have a 90s Kid Summer. So bike riding, less parenting, drinking out of the hose, freeze tag at night. So parents my age and a little younger are teaching their kids about our childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're going to stop.
I knew he'd crap on it.
Well, no, I mean, like, I have a story here today that, like, parents are actively making their kids worse by doing too much for them, by like holding their hands on every single thing.
Oh, I believe that.
As an example, like when you go on vacation, more than half of the parents polled in this said they would not let their kid leave their kid alone in the hotel room while they go downstairs for breakfast. So the parents would not go downstairs to breakfast and leave their teenage child in the room. Half.
People are paranoid.
Like this is kind of I find that, and now they're saying that the psychologists that are studying it, now they're saying we're damaging these kids. These kids are now coming out. They're scared of everything. They have more anxiety than ever before because they've never dealt with the world, and you give them no freedom.
The really interesting thing to me, and we do this all the time, but my kids and most people my age, a lot of people my age, I can't say most, but intuitively, it seems to be a lot of people my age have raised softies because we were parented by such hard parents. Understandable. There's a backlash to everything. There's always well, I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to do it this way.
Yeah.
As I've shared, my kids have both said that I was way too soft, that my grandkids will pay the price, that they'll go back to being more hard asses. But it's only one generation, right? I mean, at some point, don't we have to find some kind of equilibrium? Because I doubt that there were any generations before this, and I don't know what it was like in the Gilded Age or Socrates, but I doubt there were many soft parents going backwards.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I think my generation's the first en masse to kind of go, but what if we just cuddled them all the time?
Yeah. And the crazy thing to me is like the polling done here, and it was done by the University of Michigan. It's about teenagers. It's not about how you treat an 8-year-old or a 6-year-old or a 10-year-old. It's teenagers. Less than a third of parents of teenagers, according to this poll, would let their teen walk alone to a coffee shop while they're on vacation, like if it's near the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing? Like teenagers have a lot of wherewithal and resources if you don't stifle them. And then how are those kids going to handle, like, and again, this sounds like younger kids than what any of us are dealing with. But, like, if you're sheltered, how are you ready for anything that comes afterwards? Don't you need to be exposed to some things? I mean, I think about it like, how old were you, Dave, the first time you were allowed to, like, be left home alone? 12?
Yeah.
10? Something?
Yeah, I was left alone when my mom and dad went to Vegas before I could drive.
Yeah.
So my sister looked in on me.
Sure.
Which didn't help. I was an idiot. And I remember this. I would eat cereal, and I was so my parents were hard, but they weren't demanding. Does that make sense?
Get you.
My dad did a lot of yelling, but he didn't do a lot of demanding.
Gotcha.
So I didn't really know how to do anything. And when I ate my cereal, I would just put the bowl on. I would put the bowl on the counter and just cover it with a paper towel. I don't know. Just rather than
It just magically fixes after that, right?
Exactly. So my sister came over. I remember this, and there's like 6 bowls, and she's like, "Oh, for the love of God, let's just wash these out." But yeah, I was left alone pretty early.
Yeah.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Mark Scores. The Chris and Amy Show.
I would just like to say you guys are awesome. I've just been turned on to this since it's been on 104.1 at the FM dial, and I think you guys make me laugh, and you're informative. I just love you guys' show. You guys are amazing.
The Chris and Amy Show. Weekdays at 9 on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
Summer in St. Louis means one thing: Cardinals baseball. It's more than a game. It's an STL tradition. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, the boom of the fireworks. It's the soundtrack to summer for Cardinals Nation. So grab your cap and glove and take your spot in the stands. Because in St. Louis, baseball is more than a melody. It's our favorite song. Hey, Cardinal fans, hydrate like a champ. Head to the ballpark Saturday, July 12th as the Cardinals take on the Braves. That day, 20,000 fans 16 and older score a City Connect tumbler courtesy of Coca-Cola and Quick Trip. Stay cool and sip in style all summer long with this 30-ounce stainless steel tumbler. Don't miss out on this fan-favorite giveaway. Grab your tickets today at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Nolan Gorman, St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Cash for Clunkers is back. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is paying cash for your clunkers now. They'll haul away your old garage door and give you instant credit towards a new insulated door. $200 for the first garage door and $100 for each additional door. Cash in your old entry door too. It's Cash for Clunkers now at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Convenient, free, in-home estimates. Schedule online at overheaddoorstlouis.com or call 314-781-5200.
Dave Murray's forecast is sponsored by Siding Express and sidingexpress.com.
Humidity stays kind of high going through our Monday afternoon, but there is a rare summer cool front on the way. Bit of a changeable sky. We'll call it a mix of clouds and sunshine going through the afternoon with some scattered showers and thunderstorms. We'll kind of have to wait and see if any of these things go strong to possibly severe. Best chance of that late afternoon into the evening. That's not a guarantee. 90 for the high. Tonight, fading showers and thunder showers during the evening, otherwise partly cloudy, and 70. Humidity starts to drop slowly after midnight. Tuesday, spectacular. Sunny and less humid, 87. Tuesday night, clear and nice, 67. And Wednesday, sunny and comfortable, 89. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Transform your home with the beauty and durability of James Hardie Siding. At Siding Express, we specialize in James Hardie siding installation. Visit sidingexpress.com today to schedule a free consultation. That's sidingexpress.com.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. This is National Cancer Survivor Awareness Month, and we are joined by Dr. Lindsay Peterson.
Their emotional needs, they are financial needs, they are physical needs, spiritual needs. So really, we have to look to address all of these different areas because they can be quite impactful for patients throughout their journey.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
Dive into adventure this summer at the St. Louis Aquarium's Summer of the Shark. Get face to fin with some of the ocean's most awe-inspiring creatures in shark-themed exhibits, jaw-dropping displays, and interactive experiences for the whole family. Whether you're a fin-tastic fan or just curious, there's hands-on fun and fascinating facts around every corner at the St. Louis Aquarium. Don't miss your chance to make a splash. Plan your visit today at ST stlewisunionstation.com. That's stlewisunionstation.com.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. So tell them today, I love you. Get screened. It could help save their life. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DG Ask 133. You can watch us, and it's exciting.
Oh.
Sometimes I stop rocking back and forth or stimming with my hands. Gets pretty nutty in here.
Yeah.
Wheeler doesn't take up the whole thing.
We're kind of opposites, too. Like, I just kind of like...
Oh, yeah. You hunker down.
Just sit here.
You hunker down.
Well, there's a lot to move, so I got to...
Andrew looks like he's in Jesus' tomb when the resurrection happened.
He's got the halo.
It just goes brighter and darker and brighter and darker.
At any moment, I could be abducted by aliens.
Once
based
again,
on...
Rach is the only normal one.
Mhm.
She sits there. She handles her business. She looks good. I'm twirling around like a whirling dervish. Wheeler looks like the Thing from the Fantastic Four. Lauren has a great comment here about our discussion about kids and growing up. She says, my 12-year-old son wants to be free like the kids in Stranger Things, but all I can picture are Sean Hornback and Ben Ownby. That's all we do. Lauren, we were just talking about that on the break. It's interesting because my parents, if they left me alone, probably worried about me messing something up, breaking something, maybe getting a gash on my head, needing stitches at the ER. They didn't worry about me being sex trafficked. And as Rach was pointing out, that's what we worry about today. It's the ultimate fear. I don't worry that Phoebe is going to have a fender bender when she's driving, back and forth from KU. I worry that it's a head-on crash. Like, we have somehow convinced ourselves that the absolute worst is sufficiently possible to worry about. I don't worry about a meteor hitting, right? But I worry about things I probably should not.
I think we all do, and it's because we're beaten over the head with it. Like, statistically, we know that kidnappings, if they happen, typically are from someone you know. Right? It's typically someone you know that did it.
Yeah.
Almost all of those crimes are about people in the family or around the family, somebody that knows the family. It's not just stranger danger. But that's scary, though, right? Stranger danger is scary, but more likely, and I think statistically way more likely, that bad things are going to happen involving people that you trust.
You heard it here first, folks. You should be scared of everything.
No, I'm just saying that, like, it's hard.
There's
because
no way to keep them safe.
There's no easy thing about this because knowing that those things exist and having a child means that that thing is in your head. Of course it is. But then there's also the odds of one thing happening or another. And we do have to try to convince ourselves that the odds are real. I mean, nothing happened to any of us when we grew up with more freedom. Now, that doesn't mean nothing happened to anybody. It certainly happened to other kids. Like, this has been going on since the dawn of time. So it's clearly happened. But how many of us know somebody that was abducted or was involved in one of those things? I mean, we know about them because we've seen the coverage. We know there have been TV shows about JonBenet Ramsey. Obviously, Sean Hornbeck, Ben Ownby here are big stories. But it's not like that stuff's not happening 1 in every 100 kids. It's like 1 in every hundreds of thousands of kids. Your odds are much better that it will not happen.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you don't want to be the 1%, right? You don't want to be in that family's shoes.
It's a sufficiently big fear that it has successfully beaten the odds. Because I'm a smart enough person to know the basics of the way mathematics works and odds, and I know it's probably not going to happen to my child, probably about the same chances of being in a plane crash, but the fear is so big, much like getting on a plane.
No, that's a great analogy. I mean, it's a similar idea.
Yeah.
Odds are it's not going to crash, but doesn't mean it's not going to be in your head.
Yeah. Andrew, speaking of travel, a little bit of rough time this weekend.
Oh, it was a tough Thursday and Friday.
Well, you're a man about town. You're taking the train up to see boy bands and.
Yep, I went up to see Stray Kids at Wrigley Field, sold out at Wrigley Field, and let me tell you what, when everybody's trying to get on the CTA Transit, and everybody's going to the same place, boy, it is crowded. Have you been there before?
We walked right up to it, and it looked so crazy. We decided to just Uber.
The CTA,
I wish busy. I wish we had backed up because there's no attendant going like, whoa, now there's too many people on here. It's just everybody like literally like kicking people closer together so that they can.
Yeah, it's fine.
Also squeeze on.
Wheeler says it's fine.
Oh, it's fine. I thought about how sick I got after I came back from that convention in February, and I just kept thinking about that, and I'm like, great, I'm gonna get sick from one of these psychopaths I'm on this train with. But we got there, and it was fine.
What made them psychopaths?
Just because they're up there, and they're
like you.
They're strangers.
Yucky in my space. Yeah, they're strangers being all yucky in my space. But we did get back there, and it was very, very hot at Wrigley Field. There's no air conditioning at Wrigley Field, unfortunately. I asked. They said
they do air conditioning.
I asked if they could crank it on.
Stadium.
They wouldn't do it. And it was also extremely long, and there was so much screaming and screeching and screaming at the top of their lungs, and it was a difficult experience overall.
Were you guys the oldest people there?
No.
What was the ratio of women to men?
Oh my God, like
10-1, probably.
Yeah, maybe so. It was a lot of like husbands and dads.
Yeah.
Let me just say there was never a line for the men's restroom, and the line for the women's restroom stretched for like hours.
Yeah, you had that going for you.
I did have that going
for me. You could pee at will.
Did you get anything to eat at Wrigley? Were they selling concessions?
No, we like DoorDashed some McDonald's, which I then found out the McDonald's was like 2 doors down from the hotel. And I just didn't look, so I felt pretty stupid about that. I could have just walked over there. But I was like, you know what? Once I get past it, all is fine, right? And so I did, and the next morning was fine. We went to Lou Malnati's and got some deep dish. I got my deep dish fix.
Nice.
That's the best, I think, deep dish is Malnati's. And then we went to the train station, and everything got a little more difficult because they started delaying our train by a bit. And then eventually they let us board the train. And as soon as we boarded the train and we're sitting there and getting comfortable, we noticed there's no lights on in the train. And there's also no air conditioning.
Oh.
And it's a totally sold out train. So we're sitting on this train in the tunnel at Union Station. Very, very hot, very packed in. There's no lights on, so we're sitting in the dark. And somebody gets on the intercom in the train and says, "Attention, all staff! Do not let anybody board the train. Don't let anybody board the train. We are attaching the engine right now. Make sure nobody gets on the train." And so we're all kind of looking at each other like, should we get off the train? What are we supposed to do? But we ended up just staying on the train. And I think they just didn't let the rest of the people board. But all the rest of us were just sitting on there extremely hot and in the dark. and they announced on the loudspeaker that the toilets were broken, I guess because there was no power.
Ah.
Toilet's broken, so nobody used the toilet, and everyone's like, oh, that's too bad, I have to go, whatever. Well, somebody did go. They snuck on when no one was looking, and they left a big steamer in the toilet.
That story went a different way.
And then they also stuffed. Apparently, they stuffed a dirty diaper on top of it, down also. So then the train stunk, and was also extremely hot, and was in the dark.
You should never be a travel agent.
And and so that was about an hour and a half that we just sat there. Smelling somebody's or several somebody's poop by the smell of it. In the sweltering 90-degree heat, and in the dark with no lights on. We did finally start moving on the train about 2.5 hours late. And then the air conditioning, once we started moving, the air conditioning came on and the toilet started working again, and then things settled down a bit. But
so it's all better.
Well, not necessarily, because then when you're behind on a train, they can't make every other train behind also, because that would totally screw up the whole nationwide train schedule. So what they have to do is you just have to wait constantly for other trains to go in front of you, and then you can try and sneak past when there's no other trains using the tracks. So all in all, I was supposed to get home at 6, and I didn't get home until a little after 11. And I'm just sitting on this. You just kind of tell yourself, all right, I just live on this train now. I just live here. I'll get there when I get there. Nothing I can do about it. But the other problem that was starting to really upset other people on the train, I wasn't that upset about it because, again, I was dead inside, is that the staff could not have been... I mean, it seemed like a pretty incompetent staff. They could have not been more concerned with getting people where you wanted to be quickly. Every station stop took 20 minutes, which if you ever ridden a train before, they normally don't. You just stop, people get off, people get on, and then you take off again. And you're just standing there the whole time, and they would get on. When we were in, it was about 10:30, and so we're not too far from the Alton stop. And the lady gets on, the main attendant who had been going around, who didn't really seem like she had it all together. She got on and she was like, okay, everybody, it's quiet time. It is now quiet time. So everybody has to be quiet. That's no talking or making any noise. It's quiet time. This is loud as hell on the loudspeaker. It is quiet time. Actually, it's been quiet time for half an hour, but I didn't come on and tell you guys at 10 that quiet time had started. But now it has been quiet time for half an hour. So no talking or making any noise. And it's quiet time until 6 a.m. So no talking. No, this is all real time. She's just going on and on and on about how it's quiet time, and everybody has to be quiet. Then she hangs up, and then a few seconds later, we hear another click, and she goes, "Oh, also, I just wanted to say thank you everybody for your cooperation and your patience. Also, it's quiet time, so please don't make any noise. But thank you so much for your cooperation and your patience." About 5 seconds later, click. Also, I wanted to tell you guys that we're going to be coming up to our next stop soon. And other than that, just everybody just be quiet and don't make too much noise because people are trying to sleep. And people started laughing when she came on for the third time because it's it felt like a bit. It felt like, it felt like a joke.
You're really making me want to drive a car to Chicago from now on.
Look, the other 5 Amtraks I've had were great. This one was not.
It doesn't take a lot to make a big difference.
That's why we've teamed up with Jerry Kelly Heating and Cooling to bring you 100 acts of kindness.
For the next 6 months, the Chris and Amy Show is challenging you to spread kindness in simple, meaningful ways. No big budget needed.
Write a thank you note, help a neighbor, surprise someone with a smile. It all counts.
Let's prove that kindness is contagious. Share your acts with us by using hashtag 100KindActs.
Because a little kindness goes a long way.
Hi, this is Jeff Sachs at Sachs Financial. Let's tune out the noise a little bit and focus on a retirement plan. If you don't have one or don't know how to get started, find us on our website at saxfinancial.com or retiresafestl.com.
So I'm kind of a weird guy, as you know. When I go places I haven't been,
even fun places like a new restaurant, or back in the days when I used to travel and, go to resorts and things like that. I always wanted the most information I could get. And if you're like that, let me tell you, rather than being hyperbolic about Mike and Michael's Flooring, been with me for 24 years, here's what it's like. So 3 locations, and they couldn't be more flooring stores. They're not huge. They're not small. They're not opulent. They're not threadbare. They're flooring stores. They look exactly like flooring stores. You go in. There'll be more people working than are there probably because they're well staffed. Hi, how are you? Anything I can help you with? I would lead with, I heard about you on the DGS because for a quarter century now, most of their leads have come from this show. So they're going to roll out the red carpet, no pun, but they're not going to bother you. They're not going to chase you. They're not going to follow you. But when it comes time to say, you know what, I'm interested in this. I'm interested in the middle of the road, Coronet, Berber, XYZ. They'll give you their actual opinion, which another thing I love. I love going to a restaurant. Hey, what's good on the menu tonight? Chef really likes the halibut. So to me, it's the best way to shop. No one's going to hover, but no one's going to ignore. You can find the closest of the 3 locations to you by going to michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
Hey, it's Debbie Monterey in studio with Gloria Liu, broker, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and St. Louis's real estate expert. Gloria, while most agents make big promises, you're known for your upfront written guarantees.
My name is My Promise. While many agents promise you an unrealistic sales price just to get your business, I'll provide you with an upfront written guarantee stating if I cannot sell your home for 100% of market value, I'll pay you the difference.
Gloria, that's what sets you apart from others and why I recommend you. Folks, why risk working with just any agent when you can work with the best? Gloria Liu guarantees your sale price upfront and in writing.
Absolutely. And if I don't, I will pay you the difference. The agent you choose in this changing market matters and could cost you or make you thousands.
Sell your home with certainty, confidence, and for 100% of market value, or Gloria will pay you the difference. Call 314-325-6888 or visit gloriahasthebuyers.com. That's gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. We'll just see my new watch.
Nice.
Show it to the people here.
Nice.
Sent me back $40.
Oh, my.
It's a digital watch from the 70s, and I had one just like this.
Really?
And there's a show called Omega Man. I think that's what it was called. Gemini Man.
Gemini Man. All right.
You remember that?
I do.
When he would turn invisible.
It, yeah.
He had a watch like this, and he'd push it and turn invisible.
Can you do that?
Yeah, watch.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah, now I'm back.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Ow.
What'd you do?
I scratched my nose and I scratched it a little too hard. On the bridge of my nose. I was like, dang, did I just break skin?
I feel you.
It was just a weird timing because Dave reappeared and Rachel's like, ouch.
It's a weird show so far. It's a weird show. I'm not going to lie to you. Random thoughts, since we're not going to start anything real till the top of the hour. Well, we're not going to start anything real at the top of the hour either. But
top of the hour is Razor's Edge.
I realized that Pete Hegseth is a victim. He is a victim of his own a-hole hair. You can't have hair like Pete Hegseth and not be an a-hole.
Huh.
Think it through.
Let me see.
You know anyone like that? You know anyone's got hair like that?
I know a couple of people.
Are they a-holes?
Not all of them.
Nah, but there's one of them, right?
Yeah.
He was born in 1980? I don't know. I'm like getting into my mid 30s, but I still think I'm like 22 in my brain. So then when people are like barely older than me and they're running the Pentagon, I'm like, that doesn't sound right. That feels wrong.
No, I get it.
Well, there is that kid that is running like the counterterrorism stuff,
He's
right?
22.
He's like 20, and he looks like a total
nerd.
Not gonna finish that.
A nice,
not gonna
kid.
Not gonna finish my sentence.
Also, I was watching the Ken Burns baseball special, and it's just, one amazing player after another. And then there's this guy from the 60s named Al Weiss who hit a home run. And the entire thing about him, they said, Al Weiss, usually an easy out his entire career, And I was like, damn, you did Al dirty.
Got him.
Like, on one hand, you make the Ken Burns baseball special. On the other, your whole thing is always known as an easy out. And then you think about it, like, there are just lives like that, where it's like, that's how they sum you up.
And the funny thing is that, yes, it's true. And they're 1,000 to 100,000 times better than the average person at that task.
Yeah. Like me, 20 years now, someone will go like, Dave Glover Show, you ever hear it? Wasn't that guy that had a fear of everything? And that'll be it. That'll be it. They're like, yeah, that's the guy. You're clocking.
Refused to go up into the arch.
Refused to get on a friggin' Ferris wheel.
What is the problem with the wheel?
Height and movement.
Do you typically get on any Ferris wheel?
No, I typically don't.
Okay, just wondering.
Apparently.
In the many, many Ferris wheels you come across in your day-to-day life.
No, I've been on many Ferris wheels. I just have never enjoyed any of them.
Okay.
And like the height thing, I can be in the Hancock building or the Sears Tower. And, like if you do one of those tip you over things, I'm going to freak. But I can be up there and not only not freak out, but enjoy it. It's the combination of height and movement.
Man, I just learned about the tip you over thing.
Yeah.
The other day. That's tough.
Yeah.
That's no good. No, thank you.
What's that?
It's one of those buildings.
It's
you stand
the
and
Willis, the tower, which is
Yeah.
old Sears Tower.
You did
yeah,
that
you
at the
put your hand on a
CN
bar.
Tower,
and-
yeah.
What's a CN Tower?
That's the big tower in Toronto.
Oh.
Oh, Canada. Fancy.
The St. Louis wheel, though, and I'm not just saying it because it's ours and we love it. It's maybe the best of the Ferris wheels that I've been on in terms of like it's not.
You're not
I'm not a
rocking
heights
back
guy.
and forth or anything.
Yeah, I'm not a heights guy either, but it's a very steady ride. It's a very smooth ride. The ventilation goes a long way. The heating and cooling and stuff.
Here's the thing with phobias. I don't care.
Sure.
Like I have been 300 feet in the air. I have been on Ferris wheels. I've been on the Screaming Eagle. I've done these things, and I did not enjoy them. And so when people like yourself, and I'm not mad at you, but when people like yourself try to tell me how like great it is, like, no, I've done it.
Yeah.
I just didn't like it.
Man, I wrote the Screaming Eagle when I was probably like 7. And I remember thinking at the time, this thing is going to break as it's still going to this day from what I understand.
Yes.
So 20 years later, 25 years later, however long.
And it was
is
rickety
still-
then.
Yeah, like, dude, proceed with caution, I guess, is all I want to say.
She gets it.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath.
James talks about his experience with 3-day kitchen and bath.
My wife and I had been talking for several years about getting our kitchen and bathroom remodeled. We'd had some bids actually been made. The thing that always put us off was that they were talking about 2 or 3 months to get all this work done. We heard about 3-day bath and kitchen. We thought that we'd give it a try. They spent 3 days on one of our items and 4 days on another, and the cost was about the same thing as all of the people gave us 3-month estimates for. They went out of their way to make sure that we were satisfied with everything when the job was finished. There's simply no question about the idea that they want satisfied customers and they want people who are pleased with their work.
It's about time.
3 days or less
at 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
Tell you guys about Neovitin. I talk about him pretty much every day. And if you've heard me talk about Neovitin every day and you've never bought Neovitin, there's a couple of reasons why it could be. One, you may be an anti-multivitamin person. You may think, oh, they don't do any good or they could, harm you or something. All of the really good studies that I've seen, because I do pay attention to it, with Neovitin being a client of mine for going on 20 years, it's still that, well, of course, it helps you because we are just skin machines that we were just talking about with the aliens. And we, instead of running on transmission fluid and oil and gasoline and nuts and bolts, we run on vitamin K and riboflavin and antioxidants. So we're not getting what we need out of our modern day diets. We're not getting what we need out of drive-thrus and DoorDash. So you take 2 pills a day, costs less than $1 a day. A portion of the proceeds from every bottle goes to cancer research. So it's a win-win all around. If you're interested now, next time you're at Schnucks or Deerberg's, just, make a note of it. You're going to find it right with all the other vitamins, right by all the deodorants in the pharmacy. If not, go to neovitin.com.
Chris Ranji for Siteman Cancer Center, and you have to know that you are somebody's favorite person, and your health matters not just to you, but it matters to people who care about you. Getting screened early for any cancer, whether it's colon or breast cancer, prostate cancer, or lung cancer, it is important to do that. Siteman has set up a website called GetScreenedNow.com, and when you go to it, it's going to help you find a location nearer you. If you live a little farther out from St. Louis and don't want to make the trip into the city, you can get screened closer to home. GetScreenedNow.com, because for me, I'm over 45. It's time for that colonoscopy. Third leading cause of cancer-related deaths in both men and women. And GetScreenedNow.com will help you find a location that is good for you. Doing it early, really, really important. GetScreenedNow.com.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 2 o'clock, it's a cloudy sky, 88 degrees downtown at the Arch. At least 4 people arrested in this weekend's fight-filled Pride celebration in the Grove.
Someone's going to have to take responsibility for it. The police can't.
St. Louis City Police spokesman Mitch McCoy says the lack of permitting for this event limits how law enforcement can take preventative action.
We're not wanting people as they come on Manchester Avenue. What gives a police officer the right to stop you and say, okay, you're being wanted if you want to come in?
McCoy says for the sake of safety, someone needs to step up next year and have this event permitted. Outside St. Louis City Police headquarters, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
A public safety bill signed into law this month will update regulations for using and selling fireworks in Missouri. Republican State Representative Tim Taylor of Cooper County sponsored that portion of the bill. He tells Missourinet that the state's fireworks regulations have not been updated in about 2 decades.
Fireworks are a big thing for Missourians. We spend more per capita in Missouri than any other state in the union. So we really, really do enjoy our fireworks. And the folks out there won't see any changes on what they can buy. on the shelf. None of that was affected.
The changes mostly expand the authority of the state fire marshal's office to regulate fireworks sales and use. For example, the fire marshal can revoke or suspend permits of fireworks retailers if they refuse to allow their sites to be inspected. The new law takes effect in late August. Senate debate continues on the president's tax bill.
In what's called a vote-a-rama, numerous amendments are now before the Senate as senators continue to debate President Donald Trump's big bill of tax breaks and spending cuts. With Democrats united against the bill, along with some Republicans, voting is expected to run well into the evening. Republican Senator Tom Tillis of North Carolina is against the Medicaid health care cuts.
When you rush a bill and you don't think through the implementation, you don't get it right. And so I hope that my colleagues recognize it's half-baked.
President Trump wants the bill passed by the 4th of July. The House has been called back to session for votes as soon as Wednesday, if the Senate can get the legislation passed. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
The 30th day of the 6th month is dedicated to the largest man-made monument in North America. The Gateway Arch is 630 feet tall and 630 feet wide. Park ranger Sam Filippo tells Fox 2 an important date we should circling on our calendars.
This year, on October 28th, we will be celebrating that the arch is 60 years old. It was completed on October 28th, 1965. So we'll be doing lots of activities around that celebration as well.
A unique bobblehead offering.
On August 21st, the New York Yankees will hand out bobbleheads on Seinfeld night.
I love a good nap. Sometimes it's the only thing getting me out of bed in the morning.
This one depicts George Costanza sleeping under his desk from the season 8 episode called The Nap, where he had a carpenter build a custom sleep spot under his desk at Yankee Stadium.
This is unbelievable. This is better than my bed at home.
The first 18,000 fans to enter that game will get one. Pre-sales of the bobblehead are being sold for up to $250 on eBay. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
Dow from Stiefel up 177 points to 43,997. Clear to crash on 70 East at Adelaide. There's some debris on 70 West at 141. That's in the left lane. A crash on 170 South at 6440. That's in the left lane. Some road work on 270 North at Gravois. That is in the middle lane. Also road work on 6440 West at Clayton Avenue. That's also in the middle lane. And 6440 West at Big Bend. Road work is in the right and middle lanes there.
Humidity stays kind of high going through our Monday afternoon, but there is a rare summer cool front on the way. Bit of a changeable sky. We'll call it a mix of clouds and sunshine going through the afternoon with some scattered showers and thunderstorms. We'll kind of have to wait and see if any of these things go strong to possibly severe. Best chance of that late afternoon into the evening. That's not a guarantee. 90 for the high. Tonight, fading showers and thunder showers during the evening, otherwise partly cloudy, and 70. Humidity starts to drop slowly after midnight. Tuesday, spectacular. Sunny and less humid, 87. Tuesday night, clear and nice, 67. And Wednesday, sunny and comfortable, 89. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Partly cloudy and 88 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
This report is sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis.
Cash for Clunkers is back. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is paying cash for your clunkers now. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com or call 314-781-5200. It's cash for clunkers now at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Happy Monday to you. Gorgeous day out there. This morning on the news here, talking about bad weather. We'll find out from Dave Murray about 90 minutes from now. But so far, so good on the KMOX window. I just sounded like a broadcaster, didn't I? That's kind of weird.
Good job.
Before we jump into Razor's Edge, I had a question for you. I'm sure other people have done this. I think I've even done it in a sense like this. But I was thinking over the weekend about how divided our country is. It's kind of a 50-50 country, 51-49. And what if, and I understand this is a thought experiment. Don't take me literally. But what if when you voted, you got a red card or a blue card? and then you lived under the rules of the policy that you voted for. What if that were possible? So you vote with a red card, you're going to live under the rules of the Republican Party. So if you need Medicaid, you might be SOL. And if you're, legal immigration is important to you, you see what I'm saying? Who do you think would have the rudest awakening?
Man.
I guess it
That
depends
just blow
on
your mind.
I guess it depends on how extreme it is where you are, right? Because, I mean, everything, are we talking only federally or are we talking about locally, too?
I don't know. It's a half-baked idea.
The people who are living in I know, I'm going to ask another follow-up. The people who are living in those spaces with you, right?
Yeah.
So let's say somebody takes I hate cops, I don't want any police around space, city that's over here. Are all the other people living in that city, do they share like a like mind on those things?
No, it's individual. So let's say, and it's family by family. So let's say
it's a la carte. You can
that head of the household is for defunding the police, and you get an intruder, and you call 911. They're like, "Oh, you're a blue card. Sorry."
I see. So we all live mixed in.
Yes.
But only following the policies or laws or
Yes.
what have you that we are interested in.
Yes.
I mean, I think it's impossible to say who would be in for the rudest awakening because, I mean, no voting block is like a monolith. Like,
Sure.
all Republicans are going to figure this one out this time. You know, it just doesn't work like that.
But in my example, it does.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who would regret their decision more. I'm not sure.
I think they both would. Maybe not to equal degrees, but I think they would both regret it if they didn't. Because I think it ends up being the balance of the policies of the two that makes things work.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, why be reasonable?
Mm-hmm. It would be an interesting thought experiment, though, to show you, both of you, the gaps in your paradigms. I'm sure that intellectually honest, red people would see things where they're like, this isn't ideal. And the same for the blue cards. I'd learn a little something about each other. Now I'm sounding like Burl Ives or something. And that's the day we all learned our lesson.
We all learned
we learned it just fine
that day.
Mr. Red Card and Mr. Blue Card went fishing after that. Razor's Edge?
Yeah, I want to talk about, that last subject is about how people disagree and we have a hard time like giving each other credit and all this kind of stuff. I have a great story that'll maybe make you feel a little bit better about life. So a couple weeks ago, I have tennis on the brain. Wimbledon started today. I'm very excited. Watched some before I came in this morning. Roland Garros, the final was the women's final was the number 1 and number 2 in the world. Arnia Sabalenka and Coco Gauff. Coco Gauff is an American. I love both of these players. Absolutely love watching both of them play. Coco Gauff ends up winning. It's a great moment to see the American do this. She's like 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
She's a great person. Arnia Sabalenka, who's from Belarus, they're doing the trophy ceremony. You can tell she's not happy. She's not having a good time. She's pretty pissed that she just lost this final. In the press conference afterwards, she goes on to say like some pretty shady and mean comments about Coco. And she's like, I just think if I would have played Iga Swiatek in the final, or if Coco had to play her, she would have lost. And she said all this mean stuff, basically tearing down Coco's accomplishments and just being a huge jerk. Couple days later, she comes out and ends up apologizing. And that's kind of the end of it for the time being, right? Coco Gauff had every opportunity in our culture today to lash out on social media, to clap back, to say something mean in return. But instead, she very graciously accepts the apology, accepts when Sabalenka says, yeah, I was just in a bad place. I was emotional. I was kind of crashing out. It has nothing to do with you. I'm so sorry I hurt your feelings. She was able to hear that apology, accept it, and now that they're at Wimbledon together, they're literally like hanging out, shooting TikTok videos together, being adorable. I just think it's so great to see something like this Because like I said, it feels like what you're encouraged to do when someone says something mean about you, especially online or in the press or whatever. It's like you have every right to say something way worse in return, and everyone will be on your side because you were the victim in the situation. It was just so encouraging for me to see this young lady who I like adore, like literally like love this girl. Like, I just think she's so cool and such an amazing player. The fact that she had the emotional maturity to handle it in this way, I just think is absolutely incredible and really encouraging. And I hope it sets an example for the future generations out there.
And it makes me wonder, because in past times when I've complained about people, you guys have pointed out to me, not being on social media, that I'm talking about people on screens. And you'd like to think, and they are people on screens, obviously, to a large degree, but you would like to think that the way people actually act are like these two. You know, so that's great. That's a great story.
Yeah, I just thought that was really cool,
Yeah.
and I'm excited to watch both of them play. And, you know, like the TikTok stuff, it might be a little manufactured and a little fake, but it's just really nice to see when the typical situation is just like, nope, they're in a cat fight now, and these two girls will hate each other forever, and it's going to be this ongoing rivalry, and Coco could have absolutely just been the victim forever, and she came out and said, she's like, no, I just try to forgive and
I remember
be the bigger person.
something from the Bible when I was studying the Bible when I was young about if someone does something bad to you, be nice to them, and it's like heaping hot coals in their head.
Mm-hmm.
So we've known that lesson for a really long time. You know, take the high road, because it usually does work out. I think it works out even better in this environment because we're so used to clapbacks, and we're so used to, you know, you're justified, you owe it to them, go get them, that when you don't, everyone's waiting with bated breath, and it makes a huge impression. So, yeah.
Yeah, the interesting thing is, though, like checking Reddit and checking social media, there are still plenty of people who are like, Coco, you shouldn't forgive her. You should have never forgiven her. And I'm like, wait, where does that come from? Like, people who have nothing to do with the situation have an interest in keeping this going. It's very odd.
Speaking of, a little bit similar, we talked about the story last week with Marte, who was playing and being heckled by what turns out to be a 22-year-old fan who said something about say hello to your mother for me, and his mom had died in a car accident in 2017. He got very upset. He was crying. His coach was yelling at this guy and telling him what a horrible person he was. Guy gets removed. The guy gets a lifetime ban from baseball. And Wheels, you would know this guy. I don't know his name, but he's a well-known sports writer. And I saw a TikTok yesterday of him, and he said, look.
Jeff Pearlman.
Okay.
I saw it.
Yeah. This guy's abhorrent. It's terrible. But he shouldn't have been doxxed. We shouldn't know his name. It's too far. The punishment doesn't fit the crime. He doesn't even think that he should have been banned for a lifetime. He's only a 22-year-old kid. Thoughts?
Well, the problem is I'm torn on it because I get where Pearlman's coming from. I watched the video. He makes a pretty sound, like, rational argument. Like, one moment of stupidity shouldn't basically ruin your life, or at least ruin your life for the moment, right? I tend to agree with that. But then where's the lesson learned if there's no consequence? And if the consequence isn't visible, if the consequence is just, well, you felt bad for a few days, how does that even impact you? Are you going to stop being a jerk? Are you going to maybe reevaluate what you're doing? Or are you just going to keep being the same jerk? Like I'm torn because I do think consequences breed change. And if there are no consequences, I mean, look how many times we talked about it downtown. There are no consequences for running red lights in downtown St. Louis. There are no consequences for doing donuts in intersections or for, causing fights. There's no consequence. You get away with it. What's the result of that? We see more of that behavior. So while I may not say that it's totally fair that a 22-year-old gets doxxed for saying something incredibly stupid and mean, maybe there's a lesson for 10 other 22-year-olds who won't do it because they don't want to end up in that same spot. So I don't know. Is that unfair?
No.
Because, I mean, if somebody doesn't learn the lesson, like if you're going to just act a fool all the time, sometimes it's going to bite you. It's going to cost you a job. It's going to do something real. And the earlier you learn that, the better. And the more publicly everyone can learn that lesson, the better. But it does seem like a lot for, who knows if this kid's always a jerk? Who knows if he's done other? No idea. It would seem like a lot for a one-time only thing. But judgment is still bad judgment, still bad judgment. And if you don't learn how to exercise good judgment, are you going to get better at things?
What do you think of the lifetime ban?
I don't think it'll hold. I'm sure he'll be able to appeal at some point and say, "Hey, this
was 22.
I was 22, whatever." I don't know that that's going to be held up.
How do they enforce that as far as like, I mean, I get like, hey, this email address is blocked from buying tickets on the MLB app or whatever. But as far as your buddy giving you a ticket and you walking into the stadium, there's no way they can actually enforce that, right?
It just means that if somebody points you out or they see you, they will throw you out.
Okay.
So he can probably go to games all the time because as long as he won't be able to buy them under his name, right? He won't be able to but you don't have to show ID to walk into a ballpark. Dave, when we went the other day, you had the tickets. You just scanned the tickets. We all walked in. And that just would mean if somebody pointed him out and said, "Hey, that's that guy," and they were like, "Well, you got to go." It's just going to mean if you're there and they see you, they're going to throw you out.
Yeah. Let me tell you guys about the Gelman team. It is it's a good time. And if it wasn't, I wouldn't say that. I'm not in the business of lying to you. I'm in the business of telling you about my clients. And unlike a spokesperson for any president, I'm not just going to massage it so much that you don't get the truth. You got the truth the other day when Neil Gelman called in and he said that nationally it's a soft market. If you just said in America, how's the real estate market? It's pretty soft. A lot of existing homes out there, not a lot of action. He said in St. Louis, it's very, what's the word I want to use? It's very democratic. If you earn $500,000 on your house, you'll get it. But it's easy not to. It's easy to have a house sit there for a long time and end up being a $430,000 house. So in those situations, you need a really good realtor to help you. I promise you, it's not just puffery. It's not just salesmanship. The Gelman team are different. They know things that other people don't. They take it more seriously. It's a 24/7, 365 kind of a business. They're very aggressive. They're very smart. They have a great reputation with other realtors. If you want to find out what we think your house is worth right now, go to the front page of thegelmanteam.com. When you're ready to talk, 314-336-1991.
Certain restrictions apply.
You know how you always want to know about everyone else's money? On the podcast, What We Spend, guests will, for 1 week, tell us everything they spend their money on.
My son slammed $6 worth of blueberries in 5 minutes.
And everything that makes them feel.
I want to own a house. I want to have a child. But this morning, I really wanted a coffee.
Because at the end of the day, money is always about more than your balance. Listen to and follow What We Spend, an Odyssey original podcast. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
Welcome to Willie's Wings, home of the secret sauce.
I'll take a dozen wings. Oh, by the way, I love that sauce. What's in it?
Can't tell you.
Why not?
It's a secret.
While many financial advisors claim to have the secret sauce, they don't. In fact, if their sauce is so good, why are they keeping it a secret? Steve All of the All Financial Group doesn't keep anything a secret. He knows there's much more to retirement planning than stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. He'll develop a strategy designed specifically for you. It's your own secret sauce for retirement. Call Steve today at 636-230-8824 for your personal portfolio x-ray. Call 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Fine, you want to know what's in the sauce?
Absolutely.
Tablespoon of paprika.
Really?
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Renewal by Andersen is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Schedule your free inspection today. Just dial pound 250 on your phone and say the keyword Windows. That's pound 250 keyword Windows, or head to rbastl.com.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
KMOX is everywhere. 1120 a.m. Streaming live on the Odyssey app. And now at 104.1 FM.
Welcome back, guys. DGS. We have Bernie Miklasz coming up at 2:30, doing the Sweet 16 at 4 p.m. Did you guys see the story about the guy? I have a different take on this, so get ready. It's bad Dave take. So this guy who, by all accounts, was a great guy, passes away, and as a part of his funeral, he drops $5,000 and rose petals on the funeral. And everyone's scrambling around in the helicopter, from a helicopter, and the helicopter's blowing the money, and people are on their hands and knees and grabbing money and all that kind of stuff. I thought it was awful.
$5,000 worth of rose petals?
No, $5,000 worth of cash.
Okay.
Mixed in with rose petals.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
And it was his final way of saying, I love you and have a good time. And I just found it kind of offensive. Like, I'm going to leave you on your knees grubbing for money on my way out.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of like, did you guys ever do like a magazine selling contest at school? And it's like, if you sell a certain amount of magazines, you get in the booth. And then we turn on the wind and the cash flows and all the cash you can grab. It's like, wait, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a bit odd.
I thought so. I'm
gonna go with Bad Dave on this one.
Okay, good. Tell you what Bad Dave is obsessed with is TikToks about people eating 9 hot dogs, drinking 9 beers in 9 innings. It's really entertaining.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because you see, when I played in the band, I always said one of the most interesting things about playing in the band is you see the progression of drunkenness. Like at 8 p.m., like the band played 9 to 1. At 8 p.m., everyone's delightful. Well, hello, Dave. I really enjoy your radio broadcast. And then about 10, they start getting a little sketch.
Yep.
And then by 1, they're following you to your car as you're putting your amp away.
They're like, Dave! Dave!
Have you seen the 24, 24, 24, 24 challenge?
No, what's
the
that?
new one? It is 24 beers and 24 cheeseburgers and 24 miles in 24 hours.
Wait, say that one more time.
It's 24 beers, 24 burgers, 24 miles, 24 hours.
Like you run 24 miles?
Or hike or walk or whatever.
How would you make that happen?
People are struggling. The burgers are the hard part, it looks like. The beers are not the challenge.
24 burgers, 24 beers, 24 miles.
Like a 24-mile walk, hike, run, whatever.
You're not driving.
And then in 24 hours. So you have a whole day to complete this. If you started now, you'd have until 2:30 tomorrow.
I'm not making fun of you. You're just the messenger. But that just sounds stupid. Like the 9 dogs and 9 beers in 9 innings makes some kind of sense.
Yeah, everything is tied together.
Yeah.
The 24 is just kind of.
I could eat 80 cockroaches while watching 80 episodes of MASH. I mean, like, you can put numbers to anything.
And also, I wouldn't feel happy if I completed that challenge. I wouldn't be like, I did it, man. I ate 24 burgers and drank 24 beers and hiked 20. I wouldn't brag about that. I wouldn't feel accomplished. So you do wonder, why folks are doing that. Are they getting the sticker to put on their car like the marathoners?
Yes.
Oh, we need more stickers
That's a
on
pretty good idea.
cars. Look what I did.
A burger with a 24 on it?
Yeah.
We don't care if you bowled a perfect 300 or had a hole in one. No sticker for you.
You know what I was thinking about, apropos of what you just said? One of the kids, listen to Uncle Dave, one of the things that I have learned in my 60 years, truly, no one gives a rat's ass about what you have except to hate you for it.
That's fair.
Right? Like I walked out today. I have a perfectly fine car. I have a Jeep. I have the same car everyone else has. And there was a really, really nice car out there. And I'm just like, F you.
Was it the Camaro?
It's a blue Camaro. I don't know who drives it.
He's cool, though.
It's got a spoiler on it.
I met him. He's pretty cool.
I'm like, F that guy.
Yeah, he's the best guy.
I can just tell I wouldn't like him.
He was so nice to me.
But it's so true, right? I mean, like, no one cares. You have a big mansion. Okay. Good for you.
Unless you get to take advantage of it on the regular, and then it's really cool.
Well, yeah.
Somebody you see
It's
every
your
weekend,
neighbor.
like, hey, we're going to go watch football at the mansion. All right. Hope you have mansion food.
Yeah, I mean, if it can also be my mansion, I feel a little differently about it.
You guys know I'm right. Mansion food is good food.
I'm just thinking of like Bezos and people like that. Like, no one cares.
No, everybody hates you.
Yeah.
Especially when you rub people's faces in it.
Yes.
That's the worst.
Yes.
Those marathon runners.
Did you see Leonardo DiCaprio trying to hide his face as he left that wedding?
No.
Like, bro, we all know it's you. He had on a ball cap and he pulled it down over his face.
You can't
Get
see
over
me.
yourself.
You're the most famous man in the world. We know who you are.
You can't see me.
I mean, I could meet him at Schnucks, and I would probably go, hey. Like, I'm not losing my mind because Leonardo DiCaprio's somewhere.
I think he was trying to hide his face because he's like Mr. Eco-friendly.
He doesn't want to get
planet
yelled
guy
at.
and
Yeah.
Flew a private jet over to Jeff Bezos' wedding.
I gotcha.
Yeah, in Venice where they already have problems.
Mm-hmm.
Smart Mouth Rage?
Yeah, if you haven't tried Smart Mouth yet, I implore you to do so. You probably don't know what it's like to have truly fresh breath, and that's not supposed to be a dramatic statement. It's just true. Smart Mouth actually eliminates your bad breath at the source. Use it once in the morning and once in the evening, and you have 24 hours of bad breath protection. That's because Smart Mouth uses activated zinc ions. This is an ingredient you are not going to find in any other mouth rinse. Those zinc ions bind to the bacteria in your mouth, prevent it from producing stinky sulfur gas, that is your bad breath, and you don't have to worry about bad breath all day long at that point.
Rach, I apologize. I'm about to get us fired from Smart Mouth.
Uh-oh.
Remember today when I said I think I'm getting a wart on my hand?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to put mouth sore Smart Mouth on it.
I mean, it can't hurt.
Can't hurt, and it could help.
Those ions could probably help.
The mouth sore is great. I get fever blisters. Rach gets canker sores. When one does rear its ugly head, I've yet to have one come to fruition. And if you get fever blisters, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The Gum Health Clinical is fantastic for people with gingivitis. We can save you $2.50 on anything you buy when you go to smartmouth.com/Clover.
Wake up informed. Wake up empowered. Wake up to Total Information AM, your morning must.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey.
I'm Megan Lynch. This is Tom Ackerman.
From local news to breaking headlines to weather, traffic, and the stories that matter most, we've got you covered before your first sip of coffee. Expert analysis, bright perspectives from the people you trust. Total Information AM. Your day starts here. Mornings beginning at 5 on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Dave Murray's forecast is sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies.
Humidity stays kind of high going through our Monday afternoon, but there is a rare summer cool front on the way. Bit of a changeable sky. We'll call it a mix of clouds and sunshine going through the afternoon with some scattered showers and thunderstorms. We'll kind of have to wait and see if any of these things go strong to possibly severe. Best chance of that late afternoon into the evening. That's not a guarantee. 90 for the high. Tonight, fading showers and thunder showers during the evening, otherwise partly cloudy, and 70. Humidity starts to drop slowly after midnight. Tuesday, spectacular. Sunny and less humid, 87. Tuesday night, clear and nice, 67. And Wednesday, sunny and comfortable, 89. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's never too early to start thinking about your retirement journey, and it's never too late either. You just need to know that the steps may look a little different. Listen to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg, Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
Dive into adventure this summer at the St. Louis Aquarium's Summer of the Shark. Get face to fin with some of the ocean's most awe-inspiring creatures in shark-themed exhibits, jaw-dropping displays, and interactive experiences for the whole family. Whether you're a fin-tastic fan or just curious, there's hands-on fun and fascinating facts around every corner at the St. Louis Aquarium. Don't miss your chance to make a splash. Plan your visit today at stlouisunionstation.com. That's stlouisunionstation.com.
Just taking a look at my Schnucks Rewards app here, and you know what? Before I know it, I have $95 in Schnucks Rewards points. This is exciting stuff. I get these rewards points just from shopping at Schnucks. You earn 2% cash back from every single thing that you purchase. So if you shop at Schnucks all the time for all your groceries like I do, it adds up pretty quick. Now, a lot of people will take these points, these reward dollars, and cash them in towards like a big holiday dinner, a birthday dinner, something like that. Some people just, takes a couple bucks off of their typical grocery bill. You can even donate that amount to a local charity through the Schnucks Rewards app, whatever you want to do with it. I mean, it's silly not to use the app if you are a loyal Schnucks shopper. It's free. It's easy to download, easy to set up. Plus, you get tons of personalized savings through the app. You can make a grocery list on the app, check out the weekly ad. I mean, there's tons more. Try it for yourself. Go to your app store now and search for the Schnucks Rewards app.
Hey St. Louis, this is Ben Barnett, board certified master arborist with Timberline Professional Tree Care. In my nearly 30 years in the industry, I've seen firsthand what damage falling trees can do to your property. The sad thing is that most trees that fail have defects that can be identified by a well-trained certified arborist. At Timberline, we have 7 ISA certified arborists, 3 of which have gone through extensive training and testing to become tree risk assessment qualified. Our track certified arborists can perform a thorough assessment of your tree and provide mitigation options for your peace of mind. If there's nothing wrong with your tree, we will let you know that it poses a low risk of failure. If it needs to be removed, we'll tell you in a detailed written report. It's all about honesty and integrity here at Timberline Professional Tree Care. So call us today to get a tree risk assessment scheduled. 636-479-7475 or contact us through our website at stltreecare.com. Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fira Capital Management for Your Retirement Highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Today, the Cards, the Pirates.
Ameren Total Access 445.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Our conversation with Bernie is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Dicon comfort dealer.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Bernie Miklasz joins us on the Burn.
What's going on this Monday? I hope everybody's doing well.
Yeah, good Monday. So I'm going to say something that I feel is something that Bernie Miklasz could say, okay? Mm-hmm. I could hear you saying this on one of your TikToks, but I was thinking about this over the weekend because, as you guys know and can tell, I take such great joy in the Cardinals and in baseball in general, and I just love it so much. It means so much to me. And I wrote down over the weekend, you're wasting a fun season on angst. And I'm not talking about people who listen to Gas House or listen to Rush Hour or Sports Open Line. I get people who are into it. I love people who parse it out and tease it out. That's why I listen to you guys. But you know who I'm talking about. There are people out there who just let the angst of it ruin what is a really fun season.
Well, 100%. You know, I do a weekly podcast with my really good friend, Will Leach. It's called Seeing Red. And I was saying this today. I understand fans who, are disillusioned, let's say, by ownership, management. They have some legitimate grievances for the way this thing has kind of gone the last couple years or whatever, maybe the payroll size. But as I told Will Leach, and I'm on the same wavelength as you, Dave. As I told Will Leach, it's like, listen, when I'm watching this team run around the bases and this team hitting home runs and playing small ball and getting great pitching, and making all these comeback wins and all this energy and all this entertainment and just the hardcore competitive nature of this group, and they play the game with joy. The last bleeping thing in the world I'm thinking about is the owner of the team or the baseball front office. Like, enjoy the place, man. Put that other stuff aside for a while.
That's how Bernie would say it.
Yeah. Well, I don't understand the logic either, right? If we're gonna be all about the past, so then only the past 2 or 3 years matter, not the past 20.
Oh yeah.
It's the same people.
I know.
And I'm with you guys on the message. Like, baseball should not be enjoyed based on the outcome of the game you're watching. It shouldn't be, well, they lost, so that sucked. I wasted 3 hours. Because if you look at it that way, you are wasting your time. Because you're going to be riding that roller coaster, and you're not going to be happy. You're going to be upset all the time.
Well, winning certainly enhances the experience. But let me just say this. This is Bill DeWitt Jr.'s 30th season number 30 of owning and the team and steering the team. And this is to your point, Mr. Kevin Wheeler. During his 30 years, the Cardinals ranked 3rd in the major leagues in regular season victory, and they ranked 3rd in the major leagues in postseason victories. And okay, granted, there's been some disappointment in recent seasons, sure. But does that mean you throw out a 30-year track record that's just about as good as any team in baseball?
Nope.
You just trash that? That goes out to the dumpster? That didn't matter? That doesn't count? Are we really that spoiled?
I mean, for a certain age group, I think we are. I think there's a certain age group. If you're what, under 40, you don't remember struggles. It was not a part of your life. So you don't have that in your head. Like, this is the frame of reference. This is what happens in sports. Sometimes you do cycle down and it takes a while to get back. And look, this is the other thing, Bern, like, you get this. I know you get these comments, and we all of us that cover the team do. People will look at a team that's been mediocre and like, this is trash. This is terrible. Like, no, go look at the south side of Chicago. Look at what's happening in Colorado. Look at what's gone on in Pittsburgh for decades. That's terrible baseball. The Cardinals at their worst have been mediocre. At their worst have been mediocre. And right now they're actually decent. I mean, you look at the standings in the National League. One team stands out, and that's the Dodgers, which we all knew. And they're actually below what we would have expected because of all the injuries they've had with their rotation. But you've got the Phillies, the Mets, the Cubs, the Brewers, the Cardinals, the Reds, the Padres, and the Giants. All of those teams are between 44 and 49 wins. They're all basically the same. And some of those teams are teams, Bernie, that listening to critics be like, you should be like the Phillies. You should be, well, you kind of are. You have more wins than the Mets do right now, or about the same number. Well, the Mets at 48, you're at 47. Yeah. So, like, you're in it with all of those teams. Now, the 3 months that follow now will determine what they actually are. But what they are today is as good as anybody but the Dodgers in the National League.
Here's the way I said this on the Gas House Gang. I think it slipped by because I was sort of hurrying at the time. Listen, I believe in going with some larger. I always prefer going with a larger sample size, a bigger chunk of the schedule to really make some evaluations. Since April the 8th, that's a long time ago. The Cardinals have the 3rd best winning percentage in the National League behind the Dodgers and the Cubs. And the beauty of incorporating going all the way back to April 8th. First of all, I'm accounting for the fact the Cardinals got off to a 4-6 start, which isn't awful, but it's a 4-6 start. Right. Since then, they're the 3rd best team in the National League. See, and this includes a couple of their losing streaks, a couple of their bad road start. It includes a lot of so-called negatives. But even if you bake the negative stuff in, this is a team that slashed $40 million from the payroll, is spending, I don't know, what a couple $100 million less than the Dodgers this year and $50 million less than the Cubs this year. and they're the third. They've got the third best winning percentage in the National League over the last 75 games. So what are we squawking about exactly?
What do you think it is with attendance, guys? Do you think that it's being oversold by some media? Do you think that people have just gotten out of the habit of going to the ballpark?
Gosh, that's a great question. I'm curious to see what Kevin Wheeler said. Listen, I think it's a combination of things. I think it's a combination of, just being down and out about the state of Cardinals baseball after an off season that was kind of clumsily handled by management because they couldn't really tell us what the season was supposed to be about. And there was a lot of mixed message. So I understand why people would be disillusioned with that. Number two, I think some of it is generational. I really believe that. I mean, you go to a St. Louis City SC game and it's a young crowd. It's just more into like a now day vibe or whatever. I think, and I've talked to the Cardinals people about this, a lot of the Cardinals fans that saw this great team from 2000 through 2015, they're either getting old or frankly, they have passed on. And I'm not sure that the younger generation has filled that void yet. Maybe they're not as hepped up about it. And then I also think, there's the boogeyman effect of like, I can't go down to downtown St. Louis, I live in St. Louis City. I go to the ballpark. I'm downtown all the time. I never worry about anything. But you have people that just, they're convinced horrible things will happen if they even tiptoe around Busch Stadium. Even though the Cardinals have expanded security and they pay for extra security around the ballpark. I think it's those things. And there's a couple other things we could, there's the people that unless Bill DeWitt is stupid and throws money away for no good reason, I'm not going down there. You got those people too.
Yeah, I'd say that those are all the real factors. I mean, clearly there are people that live in outlying areas. I don't just mean suburban St. Louis. I mean like outlying Missouri, Illinois, Arkansas, people that do come in that probably go, ooh, it's scary. I'm sure there's some of that, but it's mostly, it just takes time to change people's minds.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, like, they're off to a good start. They're competitive, but they're not running away. They're not the first place team as an example. It takes time to convince people that it's going back in the right direction. Just like it took time to erode it, right? It didn't erode right away.
Yeah, but to Dave Glover's point, what is there to not like about this team? Like, this team's enjoyable. It's fun. 100% energy. 100% determination. They're like pick a country music song or something. Like the Cardinals are. The Cardinals are, they remind me of like a Hank Williams Jr. song. I ain't going peacefully. I ain't going peacefully, right? Tom Petty, I won't back down, right? Springsteen, no retreat, no surrender. There are song titles that fit this group. So what, like, okay, they might not win, they might not make the playoffs, but this is a fun ride. This is a fun team to watch. So why, if you care about Cardinals baseball, why would you deny yourself the pleasure of going down there and having a great time?
Jamie has an interesting point. She says, Dave, it's just so expensive to go to the games anymore. I'd love to go more, but they have priced me out. We have to budget to take our family of 5. That's something I don't think about.
You got to factor that in. In every situation is different. For some families, that's a really tough thing to do to find the money to do that, to come down a lot. I get that. But I also know the Cardinals, I'm pretty sure they still do a lot of discounting on tickets, especially if it's not a prime time opponent or whatever.
I'm not trying to be a jerk.
You are a jerk. So,
yeah, I know. I know.
You're doing a good job of it.
I am. I'm just saying I'm not trying to be. All you need to do to find affordable tickets is learn how to work the secondary ticket market. There are tickets right now for the Washington Nationals in St. Louis for $19 each, including fees, on a secondary market. I've had buddies and all kinds of. I got friends that are huge sports fans. And they complain like they live in Detroit, and when the new hockey arena opened, they're like, the tickets are so expensive, I can't even go. And I pulled up one of the secondary apps. I'm like, you can get tonight right now for $32. Which is not much for a hockey ticket. right? Not in a big city. It's certainly not much. I mean, like, you just have to be creative about it. I do agree that sports have gotten more expensive. I don't know if you guys saw it, but there's a great research piece done on that. And I'm forgetting who it was. Was it June Lee, Bernie, I think, that did this? But he looked at the cost, and it's like it costs $5,000 a year to be a sports fan, from TV subscriptions to going to games and buying things that sports fans normally buy. I totally get how expensive it can be. But there are tricks to the trade where if you're not particularly tied to a certain series, game, or team that you want to see, where you can go find $20 tickets.
You know, Kevin, I was curious, and I'm not going to mention mention the secondary ticket seller, because, you know, that would be giving them a free endorsement.
Right,
let them pay for it, right?
Yes.
But to your point, you know, I'm looking at the Washington Nationals series, and there are tickets available for the Thursday night game that are $14.
There you go.
They're, and I'm talking about a ton of tickets.
Yeah.
At $14.
Yeah.
And the game before that, $15.
Yeah.
The game before that, $16. Even the Atlanta Braves, when they come in, and they're usually a pretty good draw, you can get tickets for, you know, to one of those games, a Saturday game, right now for $19.
Yep.
So you're right about that.
And we had a follow-up. Robert makes a good point that, look, that could be considering like the cost of food and parking. That's true. That's absolutely true. But, I mean, I lived a whole life where we never bought food at the ballpark. My dad took us to McDonald's on the way to the game.
Well, you're right. And there's a way to circumvent that, too.
Yeah.
The Cardinals are pretty lenient about letting people bring stuff in.
That's true.
Right?
You can bring stuff. Yeah.
Burn, tell us all about Saliga, please.
I'd be happy to do it. Saliga Heating and Cooling is a Daikin comfort dealer. And, man, they have been serving our family, the Miklas family, for about 17 years. But we were kind of late to this, because Saliga Heating and Cooling has been around since 1927. Same family has owned it. My guy, Dan Saliga, taking great care of another generation of St. Louis families. So when you're around that long, 1927, coming up on 100 years, the same family owns it and operates it. What does that tell you about how great they are? What does it tell you about their integrity and their trustworthiness? That's the way I look at it. I look at it from a kind of an overview standpoint. Man, you better be great at what you do when you have a family-owned business that's going on 100 years in a highly competitive St. Louis market, by the way. And the Saliga family's been taking care of us for all this time, 17 years. And listen, I say this every time I'm on, but I'm going to say it again. I think I have the credibility to speak to you about what makes them so great. What makes them so great is honesty, their knowledge, their professionalism, their prompt service. They're not going to try to upsell you or hustle you into buying something you don't need. No, with us and our neighbors, they have looked for, you know, cheaper solutions that work fine. And so you don't have to worry about being scammed or hustled by Saliga Heating and Cooling. They're the exact opposite of that. And it's one of the things that I appreciate about them. One other thing is Saliga Heating and Cooling, this Daikin comfort dealer, they also have the Priority Club. It's a maintenance plan that's going to save you money by extending the life of your current equipment. Also give you peace of mind of knowing everything's set. You also get a priority scheduling hookup. It's so good at SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. Go to SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. Thank you.
Your home sold guaranteed, or I'll buy it. Hi, I'm Gloria Liu, broker owner at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And for over 20 years, I've been getting my home sellers the most money for their home and selling faster than the average agent. So when you're ready to sell your home or have questions, call me.
And I'm Debbie Monterey. For years, I've been telling you about Gloria Liu and why you should call her. Gloria has solutions and programs for every seller because she understands that every situation is different. Call Gloria and get your free instant home valuation, choose from multiple cash offers, or sell with certainty this summer because Gloria will guarantee upfront and in writing to sell your home at 100% of market value, or she will pay the difference. Hey, the St. Louis market is shifting. Now is a great time to call and get to know Gloria Liu like I have. Call 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Two legendary bands, one epic night, Collective Soul, and Live are bringing The Rock to St. Louis. Catch their summer unity tour at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater July 17th with special guests artist Graylin James Rue. Don't miss your chance to hear such hits as Shine, December, I Alone, and All Over You, Collective Soul, and Live. Tickets can be found at Ticketmaster.com. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Hey, it's Jeff at Sachs Financial. Over the last 15 years, we've been able to help our clients focus on the fundamentals and tune out the daily grind by putting a great retirement plan in place. If you don't have one, find out how to get started at retiresafestl.com.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Check the back seat. Check the back seat.
Gets in your head, right? Good, because every year dozens of children are forgotten in the back seat. Cars get hot fast and can be deadly, so get it in your head. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Welcome back, DGS 252. Want some fun facts?
Yes, please.
The only known animal that can lay eggs and produce milk?
Platypus.
Platypus. The puss.
Ah, little guy.
Man, I was just talking about the platypus the other day because I feel like when you learn about that animal as a kid, all of the educators reading Rainbow, wherever you heard it from, they're like, have you ever heard of anything like this before? Like, it's such a huge rollout when you learn about the platypus.
And you're like, I'm a child. No, I have not.
Yeah, it's like, I guess that's interesting.
It's like when I learned about the narwhal and told my daughter she was dumb.
Not real.
Guinness officially says their beer is not black. It is dark ruby red.
All right.
I had my first, didn't have a whole one, but I had a drink of a Guinness when I was in Chicago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I've never had one before.
Oh, really?
It sucks.
It was.
I mean, it's an acquired taste. That's for sure.
There was a big thing when I was waiting tables. I don't think it's a big thing anymore, but remember the Black and Tan?
Yes.
Where it was Guinness and some other lighter beer, and I don't remember what.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
A woman swallowed a fish bone, and it came out the side of her neck.
No, that shouldn't happen.
I don't want that
I'm
for
just
me.
going to disagree with that.
A woman in Wisconsin got distracted while eating Taco Bell and driving and rear-ended a cop at 60 miles an hour.
Yo!
Can we get a ruling on Taco Bell while driving?
All the time. Always. I've done it a million times.
Well,
I mean,
we all have, but
it's crazy to do.
No, it's not.
Taco Bell, perhaps more than any other sort
like
of
just
fast
the
food.
classic taco. It's going to spill the cheese
soft,
on your lap.
Soft shell.
Who wants a soft shell?
And, well, that's what I'm saying. It's you got to choose the menu wisely. Like it's got to be things that don't fall apart and break, and you got to keep it mostly in the wrapper with only the little end out that you're biting.
That said, I have gotten in an accident while eating Taco Bell.
What?
While driving. Yeah, it was a one-person accident. I just hit the curb really hard.
Oh,
screwed up my wheel.
That jar you. That jars you too, man.
Oh, it sure did. almost dropped the dang thing.
Almost. But alas, the
Are you a
taco
little
was
surprised
saved.
we're still allowed to eat while driving?
I mean,
you can't talk on the phone.
I thought you were going to say I'm still alive, and I was like, yeah, I am.
It is fascinating, right? Like the things you're allowed to do. Like you're allowed to have a coffee and donuts, and you're allowed to have a full meal if you want to, but don't put a phone to your face. And you can fumble. Remember back in the day when you'd fumble around with all your CDs, trying to find the one you had put in there, and you're like going through the book, and you're like, that was fine.
We started Neovitin because we wanted to create a multivitamin for ourselves. That's why we focus on quality ingredients and formulas with our multivitamins. Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins are formulated with over 20 vitamins and minerals along with our 4-ingredient, physician-formulated proprietary blend for the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neovitin 50-plus multivitamins a try for yourself. Find them at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. This is National Cancer Survivor Awareness Month, and we are joined by Dr. Lindsay Peterson.
And the program at Siteman Cancer Center is always evolving to address the needs of all of our patients. And so we want to know, what patients need, what we can do for them, and we want to make sure that we're providing those different resources for them.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
Tell you guys about Susan L. Ward, having been divorced and having done a couple hundred divorces as an attorney. You are going to get through it. Now I'm going to sound like the Buddha or something, but especially if you have kids, you owe it to your kids to get along as well as you can. Now, every situation is different, and if someone is just very difficult to get along with, or there are abuse issues or addiction issues, everything goes out, and you'll need to get a guardian ad litem, and it'll be a tougher system, but anything for the kids, right? Hopefully everyone agrees with that. As simple as you can make it, do. As generous as you can be, do. Because, like I said, life goes on. And you're going to look back at that and don't want to be feeling like you were playing a Monopoly game and you were kind of a jerk and you look back and think, I wish I would have done that differently. Susan L. Ward will be your conscience. Susan L. Ward will be your protector. She'll be your partner. She won't be your therapist. Okay, she's not there to make you feel better, but she will help you along the way to say, this is reasonable. What they're asking for is reasonable. Let's not fight just to be mean. Or what they're asking for is really way too much. I know you want to be generous. I know you want to be the good guy or the good person. But so she'll give you real advice. She'll give you practical advice, and she'll get you through this process. If you can hear my voice in the state of Missouri, she can represent you. She has many offices across the regional area. 314-783-9400, stlfamilylaw.com.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Marcia talks about her experience with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Hi, my name's Marcia, and I had a great experience with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. My sister, who lives in Logan, had them do her kitchen, and after I saw the quality, I realized it was exactly what I wanted. I guess one of the things I really liked is that when I came back, I just couldn't believe how it totally changed, and everything was all cleaned up, and it looked so great. All my neighbors want to come over and see it. I had a lot of unique features that I wanted as far as the fixtures go, and Dave was able to find those things, and that made all the difference. It was a great experience, and I'm glad I did it, and I would recommend it to anyone.
It's about time.
3 days or less.
At 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Winner of 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards, including Overall Excellence. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 3 o'clock, it's a partly cloudy sky, 88 degrees downtown at the Arch. The White House is keeping up the pressure on the Senate to pass the president's big budget bill.
Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
The White House and the president are adamant that this bill is passed and that this bill makes its way to his desk. Republicans need to stay tough and unified during the home stretch. and we are counting on them to get the job done.
Levitt told reporters Senate Majority Leader John Thune and House Speaker Mike Johnson were at the White House today to talk with President Trump about the bill. She says the president is confident the legislation, which contains big tax breaks and spending cuts, will be ready for his signature on the 4th of July. Christopher Cruz, CBS News, Washington.
A dangerous, unpermitted event drew a wild crowd in the Grove and continued through the weekend.
St. Louis City Police spokesman Mitch McCoy described some of the chaos their officers dealt with in the early Sunday morning hours.
That 19-year-old climbed on the back of our officer while we were trying to address a female, a 19-year-old, who was shooting fireworks into the crowd.
McCoy says the 19-year-old that jumped on the back of the officer was armed with a firearm in his waistband, a rifle with an extended drum magazine. Meanwhile, the woman shooting fireworks did strike an officer with her firework. McCoy says the only reason he didn't suffer more serious injuries is because he was wearing glasses. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
2 women also shot each other. Both have been taken to a hospital. It is Arch 630 Day. June 30th is dedicated to the Gateway Arch because the monument is 630 feet to the top. Park Ranger Pam Sanfilippo tells Fox 2 there's lots to explore.
Tram rides to the top, the Monument to the Dream video, there's riverboat cruises going on as well, and then the Always Free Museum and rangers available to do talks and programs. And have special activities for today in honor of 630 Day.
You'll click on a news story you want to read only to get hit with a paywall. Pew Research found out only a small percentage of people ever subscribe to get around it.
About half of people who ever come across a paywall, the first thing that they typically do when this happens is they look for the information somewhere else.
Pew Associate Director of Research Michael Lipka says it demonstrates a belief that news should be free. He adds people who are more highly educated and earn more money are primarily the ones willing to pay for news content. U.S. banks get passing grades in the annual bank stress test from the Federal Reserve. Jason Brooks has the skinny.
22 banks participated in this year's test, which measures how well financial institutions are prepared to respond to hypothetical downturns in the economy, including a massive increase in unemployment and big plunges in residential and commercial real estate values. The test determines how much capital the banks have to set aside in reserve for a buffer, and according to an analyst note from investment firm Jefferies, 11 banks are expected to receive the minimum stress capital buffer of 2.5%. By passing the test, the banks can now update their capital return plans, potentially increasing shareholder dividends and stock buybacks.
Bank shares rallied on the test results, led by Wells Fargo and J.P. Morgan Chase. Let's get an update of the St. Louis Business Index now with Stifel's Scott Bedell. Scott.
Thank you, Michael. Good afternoon, everyone. Following a record-setting week last week, major stock indexes continued on that same path to begin this holiday-shortened week. At the 3 p.m. closing bell, the Dow Jones Industrial Average finished higher by 275 points, or just about 0.2% at 44,094. The Standard & Poor's 500 stock index gained 0.5% to 6,204, while the NASDAQ Composite Index also adding 0.5%. They closed at 20,369. Closer to home, the Bloomberg St. Louis Stock Index heading in the opposite direction, losing 0.6% at 1,582. Hurting the performance of that index, Build-A-Bear Workshop dropped 4.75% at $51.56. Boeing down 2.33% at $209.53. A few winning St. Louis stocks today. Anheuser-Busch adding 0.33% at $68.72. Peabody Energy gained a little less than 6% to $13.42, while Stifel Financial gaining a dime. They close at $103.78. For KMOX, this has been Scott Bedell from Stifel Financial, member SIPC and New York Stock Exchange. For more information on our firm, please visit our website at stifel.com.
There's a crash on 6440 going west at Prospect. That's got the right lane closed. Also a crash on 44 west at the Business Loop at Six Flags. That's got the left 2 lanes and the left shoulder closed there.
Still dealing with a changeable sky and a cool front slowly moving our way, a rare treat for summertime. So a mix of clouds and sunshine going through our afternoon. It stays humid, and we'll keep an eye out for some scattered showers and thunderstorms. There's a possibility 1 or 2 could go strong to severe That's still a little bit in question even at this point in time. Best shot is going to be late afternoon into the early evening. The high 80s to near 90. Tonight, fading showers and thunderstorms during the evening hours, otherwise partly cloudy. Also, a slow drop in humidity late tonight. 70, setting us up for a wonderful Tuesday. Sunny and less humid, comfortable 87 degrees. On Tuesday night, clear and nice, 67, and Wednesday, sunny and 89 degrees. 4th of July, looking ahead, partly sunny skies. It's back to hot and kind of humid, 94 degrees on Friday the 4th. Just a slight risk of a spot thunderstorm. I think we're quiet for evening plans. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Sponsored by Siding Express and SidingExpress.com. Transform your home with the beauty and durability of James Hardie Siding. At Siding Express, they specialize in James Hardie siding installation. Visit SidingExpress.com today to schedule a free consultation. That's SidingExpress.com. Partly cloudy and 88 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Happy Monday to you. Watching them dismantle Pride Fest over there. It's amazing. Behind the scenes, people.
Oh, yeah.
Just
so much work.
I've done so many shows over the years, and I'm an early person to begin with, as you guys know. So if I have an event at 7, I'm there by 4. And just watching the behind the scenes people, it's amazing. God, they do so much work.
Yeah.
And then the second it's over,
breaking it all
down.
Yep. We got to go to the next city.
Rach, who's Cracker Barrel pretending to be?
Well, they're going through a lot of changes. I feel like we might have talked about this on the show before, as far as they're going through like a big remodel right now.
Can't talk about Cracker Barrel too much.
That's how I feel.
They wrote about it in the Wall Street Journal. It's affecting so many people. Like, people are posting to TikTok and Twitter and Instagram, like, really upset that they're revamping Cracker Barrel in this way, because they're bringing it a more modern, sleek look.
Less crackery?
Less crackery, which is interesting because the name of the restaurant is Cracker Barrel. It kind of conjures up these images of like, oh, yeah, you got the rocking chair and you got the antiques on the walls, and it's a very homey vibe.
DVDs of McHale's Navy over there if you'd like to check them out.
But no, they're giving it a more modern glow up, and some people are getting extremely upset. I just find this very interesting because obviously brands get revamped all the time. You kind of have to do that in order to survive, but brands like Cracker Barrel have always played to a certain audience. Like, you're going to get the chicken and dumplings and sit in like the old-timey furniture or whatever. When you get rid of that, that removes a lot of the experience. And it just got me wondering, like, how much can a brand realistically change and expect to bring their regular customers along with them?
Oh, wow. This is crazy. I'm looking at a remodeled Cracker Barrel here. I don't think any of ours have gone through that remodel.
Pretty sure not.
I mean, not that I've been to any of them within the last couple of weeks. No. But it looks like an IHOP inside. It's crazy. It is extremely different. Because I was like, well, how different can it really be?
IHOP is dead to me.
Pretty different from what I understand.
IHOP is.
I am still team IHOP.
Nah, IHOP is.
Not since IHOP.
Yeah, I get it, but their pancakes are good, man.
Yeah.
You ever met a bad pancake?
Yeah, their pancakes are great, and I for one really love spending $18 on them. I think that's the best.
Man,
part.
I don't know where you're going, bro. You got to find the one by me. It ain't like that.
You got all the cheap stuff.
I know.
Ball games, pancakes.
I know. I know.
You should start a business.
It's crazy. I should. A consultant.
Yeah.
Let me save you money.
Dear Wheeler, I'm hungry for a pancake, but I don't have $18.
Let me tell you something, sir.
The Wheeler way, a.k.a. the right way.
I wouldn't go that far. Just my way. Anyway, they took a bunch of antiques off the walls.
Yep. Yeah, they took all the crap off the wall, and that's the whole reason you go is so you can look at the crap.
I mean,
I want to see the crap.
I think this is fun. Let's switch over to Wheeler since he's being all mad all the time now.
Okay.
He says so many people are just flat out mad all the time for no good reason, it would seem.
Well, so you'll see just kind of the way that we act. And the reason I asked this was because we've talked about like why we have certain behaviors in our brain, like what good were they, like anxiety. Well, that's probably because there was something out there trying to kill you all those years. And if you didn't have that little radar going off in your head, you might be caught unawares. What purpose would we have for people that just don't ever care about anyone else?
I have one.
Like the people who park all crappy and take up 2 spots in a crowded area, or the people that don't signal before they cut across 3 lanes of traffic, or the people that stop in the middle of the aisle at a store because you're going to look at something or you're going to get a sample. Just move out of the way. Like the people that just are not, like what evolutionary purpose could there have been for that?
You get what you want. You may not get what you deserve, but you get what you want. Like years ago, you guys will remember I had a client who was very, very difficult. Probably my only one of my entire career. Super, super difficult. And that person got everything they asked for, but not one thing extra.
Right.
So I think maybe aggression, like if you replace anger with aggression, like I said on the show last week, if I died and I could reincarnate, I'd come back as an a-hole because you get everything you want. You think you're killing it every day. So I think from an evolutionary standpoint, there could be some benefits to being an a-hole until there's not.
Well, I say there seems to be
until the group goes, we're just going to.
Yeah, I say there seems to be as much of a downside.
Yeah, I'd say it probably breaks pretty even.
Like you may get your short term, well, I want that thing and I'm going to take it. Boom. All right, you got it. But other people are going to be like, yeah, you know what? Let's leave John out of this because John's kind of a jerk.
For sure. No, like we're moving our tribal camp. Don't tell John.
Right.
Yeah. But I do think though that it has to be evolutionarily caused, because if I say who's your a-hole in your life, you got a name. Everyone listening right now has a name. Could be a coworker, could be a brother-in-law, could do whatever.
Could be 10 of them.
We all have a name. But it's few and far between. I think most people are nice. Most people are kind. Most people may be like me and be like overly nice and kind, people-pleasy. We all know the a-hole, and they seem to get what they want.
Seem to.
Yeah. They get all the cheap food at the ballpark.
Yeah, because they bring their own. Because
they're not paying $18 for a pancake.
They know the rules.
He is going to obsess about this.
Well, I'm never going to stop. What are you talking about?
Doubling down hard.
Never going to stop. Yeah, well, it kind of falls in line. It's not the same exact thing, but it kind of falls in line. Like, is there an attraction to being just kind of crappy about things?
Oh, I have something for you.
Do you?
Yeah. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 signs of a cool person.
Oh?
Based on scientific studies.
Like an actual cool person or the image of a cool person?
The image.
Okay.
We asked like 20,000 people what made you cool.
Got you.
And it dovetails in nicely with your little opus there. And to be an extrovert, to be hedonistic, powerful, adventurous, open, and autonomous. So kind of a bad boy. That's what makes you perceived to be cool.
The hell you mean powerful?
Well, it could mean like you got money, which means you have power. It could mean that you can beat people
you're
up.
The
I mean,
boss.
It could be anything.
You're a bully.
You know, yeah.
I don't think being a bully makes you cool. Just saying.
No, I don't think that's why it didn't say being a bully.
Don't say it to the
bully. Yeah, the bully immediately goes, no, I think it's right.
No, it doesn't say
I think what
bully.
you meant is being a bully is cool.
It said having power. It didn't say how you used it.
Don't make me repeat myself.
See, bullies use power for bad. There are people that use power for good, like Spider-Man.
You're right. Spider-Man is cool.
Yeah, he's like the only one who does that. Have you ever noticed that?
Pretty close.
Like, name a powerful person.
Yeah, I know.
Who does good things.
Oh, I found one. I found a billionaire that I like.
Oh, who?
Spider-Man?
So it's a guy. Yeah.
His name's Bruce Wayne.
He's not from here. He's from Sweden. But Johan Elias bought an entire company that owned something like 4,000 acres in the Amazon only so he could shut it down and not do any more damage to the Amazon.
Very nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's a billionaire that looked out for other people and not just his. Now, he probably will end up
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm
making
still
money
waiting
off
for the
that
other
somehow.
shoe to drop
Yeah.
here.
I mean,
But he shut down the logging company that's tearing down parts of the Amazon, so they won't be doing that, and he's saving however many acres it was that he's saving.
That is cool.
Yeah. See?
Does he
Sometimes people
own-
with power use it for good.
does he own those acres now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and that's why he just shut the company down. He bought the company, and he's like, all right, shutting it down because it's bad for the world. Could use a few more billionaires that are thinking that way, like those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, he'll probably find a way to make money off it in the end because they always do. But
You know a billionaire that's paying a price right now? Eddie Munster.
Wait,
What did he do?
He had lunch with Sarah Huckabee Sanders and took a picture and posted it.
He's a billionaire?
Yeah, where did
No,
he make his
I just
billion?
needed- I just
Oh,
needed-
okay.
I'm like, what?
I needed to dovetail it.
You needed a segue.
I was like, dang, I didn't know that.
He's got all that sweet Munster's
I was
money.
like,
Eddie
Bruce
Munster,
Patrick?
man, you talk about some residuals.
He's done over 100 Comic-Cons. Now you're just making fun of the guy.
He was on the show one time.
Sure was.
Was he?
We
Remember
developed a mutual man crush.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting texts from Eddie Munster there for a while.
and he got in trouble for what?
Being with Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Oh, okay.
'Cause she's MAGA.
I gotcha.
Isn't it crazy? You have to really be careful who you take a picture with these days.
Man.
Well, you kind of, I feel like you got to know.
Well, you kind of see Sarah coming.
Yeah. Like, if you take a
And
picture
Eddie.
with Sarah Huckabee Sanders, you got to know, like, yeah, some people might not like this. Some people are going to love it. Some people might not.
Yeah. I mean, any political figure,
Yeah.
someone's going to be mad that you're
I
taking
guess I
a
would just
photo with
think
them.
being Eddie Munster would
Solve all
Override
your
that.
problems,
override all
yeah.
that.
Yeah, but he's Eddie Munster, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure
Yeah,
he doesn't
I mean,
let
I-
it get to him.
I think there's also probably not that many people
And
who
he's
care.
very sensitive.
Like, there's probably, 40 people on Earth that currently care a lot about
Yeah.
Eddie Munster. And then maybe
Why are you doing him so dirty?
50.
He's Eddie Munster.
Yeah, I'm not sure Bruce Patrick's holding a lot of sway in pop culture of 2025.
It's just generations colliding.
Isn't his name Butch?
Yeah.
It is Butch Patrick. You're right. Well,
What did
see,
you call him?
Bruce. That was Bruce Patrick.
He's going to be 72 years old next month.
Wow.
Oh, Eddie Munster.
August 2nd. He's a Leo.
Mm.
He's a Leo. I just pointed at Andrew. I just remembered Andrew's not
I
a Leo.
was like, I am not. That's you.
Same as you, Andrew. You're the same as Eddie. Oh, Bruce Patrick.
Two peas in a pod.
Me and Bruce.
You and Bruce.
Me and Brucey.
Andrew and Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Tell you guys about Dr. Maupin, BioBalance Health. Going to bottom line it for you. I have my next round of pellets coming up, I believe, on July 9th. I just got a reminder from them. And when I go in, Caroline will take care of me. Dave, how you doing? How's Phoebe? She killing it at KU because Caroline went to KU. Talk, chat. How you feeling? Any changes? I've never had any changes. If I did, I would let her know. And then it's like, okay, time to pull your pants down. And it takes about 10 minutes to have the pellets inserted. It doesn't hurt because you're numbed up. They put a little tape and gauze on you, and you're heading on down the road. That's it. There's no follow-up. There's no removing stitches. There's nothing like that. So what I'm trying to say is it's really easy. And don't feel sheepish. When I go to get my pellets or go in for like a face treatment or something, there are always people in there from the show. And you're there for the same thing, right? I mean, there's no one judging you if you're there for Botox, if you're there for Botox, right? So you can find her at biobalancehealth.com or biobalanceskin.com. All you need is a blood test. You can set that up once again at biobalancehealth.com.
Hi, everybody. It's Brian Green from the Commercial Break Podcast. It's likely you've heard of the show if you're directly related to me or you follow our MySpace page. But I'm not here to talk to those three listeners. I'm here to appeal to people who haven't heard the show. Along with my co-host, Kristen Joy Hoadley, we're taking a deeper look at the topics that are affecting our youth today. Like, who are the people who are dating ghosts? Where did all these pickup artists come from? And why doesn't my preacher have a nicer private jet? We understand that these are the issues you really want to get to the bottom of. The Commercial Break is now available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
Now, 90 and 60. A look back at the latest St. Louis City SC match. Presented by Woods Basement Systems, Inc.
Fossey gives to Barlow. Barlow tries again. Another cross of volley to the back post. And now it's straight across the face of goal and bounces in off of City. Ponce, the one descendant in the 6, bouncing, got redirected in front in this 66th minute. Now Houston coming again, leading 1-0. Andrade peels one back. It drifts through. Shot for the spot. Oh, what a diving save by Roman Berkey. Your final, Houston Dynamo 1, St. Louis City 0.
Up next, City SC faces Real Salt Lake Saturday night. Kick at 8:30 on Y98.
Tripping over uneven concrete? Don't replace it, raise it with concrete leveling. Call the all things basement-y experts, Wood Basement Systems, for a free estimate at 618-249-5503 or learn more at woodsbasementsystems.com.
Celebrate Independence Day with a free concert by the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America. July 2nd, 7 p.m. at Logan University in Chesterfield, showcasing patriotic music and more. Get free tickets at afbandtix.org. That's afbandtix.org.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Stronger than ever.
Welcome back, DGS and KMOX. That was very funny. Rach was just, she's like, I'm having corn with dinner tonight. This is what we do on the breaks. Yeah. It's very
mundane.
It's very sexy. It's very high level.
Yeah. Intellectual.
And I said, of course, being sexy and high level, I said, oh, what are you having with your corn? And she goes, steak, rice, corn, which is exactly what those little kids said to Nick. Nick and his buddy Ray were playing these two people on a shared video game, and the two people who turned out to be 9 said, we have to go have dinner, comma, not our choice. And Nick said, what are you having? And the kid said, steak, rice, corn.
Man, and you know what? When you told that story for the first time, I was like, sounds like a good dinner.
It does, actually.
And now it's happening to me. Dreams come true.
It sounds quality. That's really funny. Steak, rice, corn. Yum. So we've taken to washing kittens in washing machines now?
There was a kitty. Where did this happen? It wasn't in the United States, but a cat was taking a nap in a washing machine.
As cats do.
As cats do. The owners didn't know that she was in there, ended up throwing in a whole load of laundry. This cat survived a 55-minute-long wash cycle.
Wow.
And at the end, they were like, oh, the cat's in there. But she's fine. Thank God.
How'd she do with the dryer?
But poor kitty, that's awful. I mean, what was going through her poor little mind? This, like, what did she think was going on?
I can tell you.
Oh, crap.
We're in for choppy weather.
Got to find a different bed.
My gosh, so horrible.
How do you not see an animal in your washing machine?
I mean, that's a good question. Okay, this happened in Australia.
I mean, they can be little. Oh,
okay.
well, water goes the other direction there, so the cat was fine.
Yeah. Cats always sleep in washing machines there.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the huntsman spider bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that AI or is that real?
The huntsman spiders? No, they're...
No, the people are living with them in their homes and not removing them.
You know, it may be true. Yeah.
I mean, they would eat
birds.
Birds. If you get like a bat in your house, that's going to eat that.
You ain't going to have mice. I can promise you that.
No.
How would you get rid of it?
No.
Baseball bat?
No, you just put them in a big old box and put them outside.
Idiot.
Yeah, stupid. Just go grab that spider the size of a chihuahua and put him in a box.
Just ask him politely
You
to
just
leave.
put the box outside. You put the box over him, and then you slide the lid up there, and then you
just go scoot mode.
You could do that.
I've done things like that, yeah.
With a huntsman spider.
Well, not a huntsman, no.
With a giant 8-inch across spider.
I mean, it was a tarantula.
You put a tarantula in a box.
Yeah.
But
it
it was
like,
from where?
Where'd you get a tarantula in Wentzville?
Right, so, no, I don't have it now. Kid that I went to high school with had one. It got out. We found it, and that's how we trapped it. We put the plastic box over him, and then use the lid to slide under. He moves his feet and gets on the lid, and then you close it, flip him, he's good.
How many people did it kill before he caught him?
Just 6. And then you put him back in his little cage.
Tore his way through the whole friend group.
Now, I'm not going to say it's going to be...
Kevin got a hold of him.
Those huntsmans are a little bit bigger, so you're going to need a big box.
Yes.
Maybe a broom.
I apologize. I have misgendered the cat. It was actually a boy cat, and his name was Pablo.
It makes a little more sense.
The fact that it's a boy makes it make more sense.
Yeah. Yeah. All the head trauma probably won't bother him too much.
A big thank you to Pablo's family for allowing us to share his story and raise awareness about the dangers of one of the favorite hiding spots for cats, in parentheses, washing machines.
What's he doing? Is he laughing at you?
I'm laughing at the rate. No, I'm laughing at the sentence raising awareness, as if like other people were like, maybe I should put my cat in a washing machine.
From Capitol Hill to across the globe, St. Louis stays informed with KMOX.
President Trump says he expects Iran to open itself to international inspection to verify that it doesn't restart its nuclear program.
I think Iran is probably still intent on developing nuclear weapons, and that would fundamentally alter the geopolitical situation in the Middle East.
The biggest stories covered by trusted voices. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things. Like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed. From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Tom Ackerman here, joining Busey Bank in recognizing Ron Doherty for building community. President and CEO Ron Doherty has been strengthening our communities for 40 years. After merging Doherty Business Solutions with CGI, he launched Doherty Enterprises and Foundation, which supports the Alzheimer's Association, other worthy causes, and innovative solutions with millions of dollars annually. Follow Doherty Enterprises on LinkedIn to learn more.
This is Pat Buring, Executive Vice President of Busey Bank.
The Doherty Foundation supports the Alzheimer's Association and other causes financially, while Doherty Enterprises uses AI and advanced technology to provide support and relief to patients and caregivers dealing with Alzheimer's and other dementia diseases. Follow their lead. That's what building community is all about. Join Busey. Get involved as we continue building the communities we call home.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-473-9933. 800-473-9933. 800-473-9933.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, we got some trouble spots out there this afternoon. I'm watching westbound 44 right now. We have a couple of incidents. First one is a stall westbound 44 just before Lewis Road. The right lane's blocked. They got a flatbed there trying to get it loaded up, but traffic's backed up westbound 44 from Bowles to almost Antire, and then a jam coming down the west side of the Antire Hill. And then they just cleared another incident. They just pulled away just now from the left lane, westbound 44 east of Six Flags. So traffic's jammed approaching 109 to that point. So several stretches of stop-and-go jams on westbound 44 right now. Unfortunately, headed that way. If you're on westbound 64, we got trouble west of Prospect. An incident in the right lane just before you get to 70. So traffic's a solid jam at 364 on westbound 64. And, of course, it's typically slow coming out through the Spady Ballas area and from 141 almost to Clarkson. Southbound 270, Olive down toward Manchester is busy. North 270, the right lane's Dorset up to 70. You're kind of slow. Northbound 170, north of the Rock Road up to 70 where that road work's going on in the left lane. It's congested as well. I'm Roger Brand in the Michaels Flooring Outlet.com Traffic Center.
Rolling hot dogs to perfect on a fluffy bun. All beef hot dogs rolling in. Hurry, cause they're on the run. Pick your toppings anyway. Rolling to this deal. Pick your two, big Q2. Rolling makes a meal. Mustard relish, sauerkraut. Ain't no need to scream and shout. Get 2 all beef hot dogs and a big Q for $5. Only at QT. More than a gas station.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Dave Murray's weather forecast is sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company, PennMutual.com/STL. Are you considering life insurance? Penn Mutual's accelerated client experience makes applying for life insurance fast and easy. Ask your independent advisor or go to PennMutual.com/STL.
Welcome back, DGS. So the jury got the Diddy case, the Sean Combs case, and within 2 hours they had already said that it's chaos and that there's one juror who's refusing to follow the judge's instructions. So if you thought it might be kind of normal, it's not already. It's already bad. So what this means is it could end up in a mistrial. Which then means that
they got to decide.
They got to decide if you're going to do the whole thing again.
You kind of have to, don't you?
I think at this point,
given what you've alleged,
I think at this point you do. Yeah. Dave Murray joins us. Hello, Dave.
Hello there. Good news in the Murray household. Grandson's here for the next 2+ weeks.
Oh boy!
Awesome.
Warm it up, Chris.
And you know what? You know what we're having for dinner?
Steak.
And rice.
Rice.
And corn.
Really?
No.
It sounds really good.
It does sound good.
I bet you could make that happen, Dave.
It does sound good. So
All right.
he's there without the parents?
No, Dad's here.
Okay.
But you know what? This Dad works most of the time. That's how they can do these kind of trips.
Yeah.
So it's Grandma Jay is reading to him right now, and then we're headed off to the beach.
Very nice.
Oh,
excellent. So are we still in the same pattern here in the STL, Dave? Like pop-up storms and such?
No, we're almost out of it. The cool front is to our north. It is going to make it all the way through, but as we said last week, it would take all of Monday into Monday evening to get here and get through. There are thunderstorms mainly to our north. Right now, it's Quincy over to Peoria, and I think the best chance for thunderstorms will be north of a Bowling Green, Whitehall, Carlinville, Illinois line. Doesn't mean a couple can't sneak down over us. I think if we see anything, it will be between 6 p.m. and 9 or 10 o'clock tonight. I don't see a lot, though. The biggest thing is the winds are going to turn to the northwest. A rare northwest flow in July to start the month of July. Tomorrow is a spectacular day. Sunny skies, less humid, comfortable. 87 for the high. That's about where we should be. It's going to feel great. Then Tuesday night, clear skies, nice. We drop out of the 80s very quickly for evening plans. Check out the first quarter moon. Full moon's on the 10th of July. 67 for the low. Sunset now about 8:30. Latest sunsets of the year. Wednesday, still really nice. Sunny up to 89. Comfortable humidity levels. It starts to build back heat and humidity Thursday afternoon. I think the morning's okay on Thursday. 93 on Thursday. Friday for the 4th. Basically sunny, hot, and humid, just a tiny chance of a spot thunderstorm. 95 degrees for the 4th of July. Right now, evening plans, 4th of July, look pretty good. It's going to be warm and humid, but it looks pretty good.
So, as I said, I have quietened my OCD voice about my HVAC going out. So I'm not freaking out about it. But anytime I see a piece of machinery that doesn't stop, I feel sorry for that piece of machinery. I don't know if you guys are like that. And my air conditioner hasn't stopped now for 2 weeks. Would you judge me crazy if I turned it off for the next 2 days? Is it going to be that temperate, you think, Dave?
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah, you might pull your shades down.
Sure. Oh, I got them all closed.
Yeah. Okay, keep the sun from coming in. But yeah, I think you'll be able to open windows, especially at night. It's going to be beautiful for this time of year.
Excellent.
It's not January, but it's going to feel good.
Yeah. Headlines, Rach?
Brought to you by Schnucks. Reward yourself daily with the Schnucks Rewards app. Did you guys see the Supreme Court is going to take up a consideration for unlimited campaign spending? So there's a cap currently.
Boy, they just keep getting stuff right, don't they?
They're going to review an appellate ruling that upheld a provision of federal election law that's more than 50 years old. Democrats do not want this to happen. They want to leave the law in place. But yeah, that basically people would be able to donate unlimited amounts of money to these different PACs and such.
There's an interesting dynamic going on for not the first time. I'm sure that there have been kerfuffles within the Supreme Court of the United States many times in the past. But have you guys been clocking this going on between Coney Barrett and Ketanji Brown?
I saw some of this play out on Twitter.
So I can tell you from law school, having read a gazillion of Supreme Court opinions, that it is incredibly scholarly, incredibly collegial. You do not take shots at another justice. And Barrett pretty much said that Ketanji Brown was stupid.
Yeah, that was a lot of people on X were saying the implication was like, I can't believe this lady passed the bar.
Yep.
But then, the way it's written out, I read it and I'm like, what? What is she saying? It's so
she said it in smart guy language, but
yeah. Yeah, it's sad to see that happen. You would like to see the Supreme Court be better than us and not squabble over
an example.
Petty little things, but I guess that's what's happening. So what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
A girl went overboard on a Disney cruise, but her dad jumped in and saved her.
Wow.
It looks like she fell off like the fourth story deck.
Yes.
And he jumped in. They were able to tread water for like 20 minutes while they waited for someone to come and save them. But just kind of an amazing story.
I think 9 out of 10 dads do that.
Oh, yeah, maybe even higher
Yeah.
percentage. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's an e-ticket ride, if I've ever seen one.
The WNBA is expanding to Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia over the next 5 years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, did you guys see their all-star voting?
No.
So Caitlin Clark, they I think I've gotten 6 million more total votes this year than they've ever gotten before.
Wow.
She got 1.3 million so far. And I think the winner last year, or the high one last year, was like 95,000.
Wow.
Like her presence in that league has made a huge difference.
That's very cool. I hope she's very proud that she's like
And yet
bringing so much.
I still see articles about whether she deserves to be a starter in the All-Star game. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Rain can't believe it.
Really?
Yeah.
I know. Rain is like,
Rain's
no way.
beside.
Every bit of the coverage of Caitlin Clark is stupid. It's just, I don't understand, why does everything have to be complicated? It's not hard. She's the best player in the sport. She's great. People like her, so they follow her.
American pride has slipped to a new low. This is according to a recent Gallup poll. Only 36% of Democrats say they feel extremely or very proud to be American. This marks a significant decline in national pride, particularly among young people. And the divide between Democrats and Republicans on this issue is at its widest since 2001.
What do you think about that? I tend to take a longer view of that regardless of having a president, and I'm not talking about Trump, I'm talking about just in general, you could have hated Clinton, you may have hated Biden, but I don't lose my pride in my country because I view it as this is a process, this is a marathon, not a sprint. We're going to have another Democrat administration. They may be great. They may suck. We're going to have more Republicans. I don't know. I just don't take it that myopically.
I get what you're saying. I do think the younger generation has more of a freedom to be like, yeah, I'm not happy with X, Y, and Z. I don't personally think that makes you less patriotic to acknowledge that there's a problem and acknowledge that there are things that you'd like to see change.
No, I think it's one of the most patriotic things you can do.
Yeah.
I think speaking
to
out.
make things better.
Yes. Yeah. No, when I say I don't like Trump, I don't feel less patriotic. And when people say I couldn't stand Biden, I don't think, oh, you don't love your country.
No. It is. I don't know. This may be off the deep end, but should anyone be proud of just where they happen to be fortunate enough to be born? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you should be proud of like things you do,
accomplishments,
maybe things that your state, your town, your country that they accomplish. Right? Like, I root for Team USA. I love living here. I don't want to live anywhere else. If I wanted to live somewhere else, I would, but I don't. I want to be here. But I always find that we're pushed so hard to be like, say you're the best. What best is relative, man. If you're born in France, you think France is the best. If you're born in the U.S., you think the U.S. is the best. Like, there's no like standard objective, and you should have pride more in you and what you do and how you do things than just where you happen to be born, whether you're talking about a city or a state or a country.
I do think that the propaganda, and it's 100% propaganda, doesn't always, I don't know, maybe the definition of propaganda is bad and I'm saying something stupid right now, but and Dave, we were definitely indoctrinated into a system. And, and I don't look back on it and be like, this is communist Russia.
No.
But I mean, you said your pledge and we were the best and you knew that everyone else sucked and that's just the way it was.
I get what Wheels is saying for sure. I think maybe a more accurate or a more fitting thing to say would be like, I'm grateful to be an American.
Yes.
I'm happy to be an American.
That's me. I fit those. Yes,
but
exactly.
Like, proud implies that I did something to be an American, and I didn't. I was just
or
born
to be
here.
born in St. Louis, or to be born in South Roxana versus regular Roxana. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
now you're talking.
I'm just saying, like, we're very weird about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, those stinking Kansas City people, they should have been born in St. Louis. Then they'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you talking about?
So Amazon has lost the right to sell the Nintendo Switch 2. I guess they just had too many shady third-party sellers selling things that weren't actually the Switch 2 or scamming people. So Nintendo basically came out and said, yeah, everything you're reassuring us with is not good enough. We're not letting you sell us anymore.
There's some stories out there that like a label, not a mailing label, but a label that was going to go on the box. They used a staple, and they actually stapled through a piece of the equipment.
Yes. Oh, my
God.
To do it. That's part of the problem right there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think that was at a particular GameStop store was
Oh,
doing that with
man.
like every console that was going out and piercing every screen with their stapler.
I bought one of those over the weekend, and I was very, very surprised
You,
when
my friend, are living
He's
your
living his
life.
life.
You're living like Larry.
I'm doing the thing.
I'm saying.
When you lift up
Midnight train rides.
when you lift up the box, there is about this much box between that and like the front of the device's screen.
Yeah.
So I was very surprised by that, and you can totally see if you were to like put a staple through that thing, you wouldn't think the screen would be
that close,
an eighth of an inch away from the front of the box.
Is it visible at all? Like, is it clear? Like, you can see it? Like, they're displaying it?
No, you'd have no way of knowing.
Well, then why wouldn't you just face it in? Like, that's the stupidest packaging ever. Face
It's
the
a
screen
very
inward.
Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense to me why they would do it like that.
That's ridiculous.
Can't really blame the GameStop.
Thank you, Dave.
All righty.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, 44 is pretty busy this afternoon, but it's better than it was 10 minutes ago. This traffic reports a service of Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electrical.